moving like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power through the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Big Zeus, powers in the air. Big Zeus, we knocking on the door. Big Zeus, we wanna hear your soul. Yeah, yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People on them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside, and the gates is locked. This power 95, spitting for the block. Dead buses make them more.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back. In the people's house.
Good morning,
Rick. It's the people's house.
Happy Friday.
We knocking on your door. It's the people's house. It's the people's house. We knocking on your door. It's the people's house. We wanna hear your soul.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get this show started. Happy Friday. Wow, look at all this.
Feel like I'm stuck in a cycle.
Hopefully we don't have any turbulence, because you know what that's all
Stuck
about.
in time.
Let's
It's like a
go.
curse, and I can't escape it. It's like deja
Let's
vu.
go.
It's deja vu when I'm running up these rats. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can take it,
Look at my grass. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last.
You and Buenos Dias, let's go.
How we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you get your famous. The algorithm turned me to a maniac.
Yeah, I guess we going viral because my Zodiac.
I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet.
Benjamin Franklin is my bestie.
And if they
Look at my
not
grass.
at me, they like me. They don't give me positive, they test me.
Y'all funny.
I say it with
Good
my
morning.
chest 'cause I made it. Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited.
Let's go.
I'll be the master with a new
Here you go.
I'ma take off in a spaceship.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
There you go.
Yes.
Shit was,
Was radical.
Very
It
radical.
it was horrible. I'm
There you
like, you've gone. Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Oh.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
Coffee.
It's like deja vu.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We are once again gathered here. Happy Friday. What is today? August 15th. It's the day, it's a good way to wrap up what's been happening this week. But we got some more work to do. Yes, Rick, WVIP. Once again, we're gathered here to do the real work it takes to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons, who we all know are hell-bent on trying to destroy this great country of ours. I mean, They just don't have any care and love for this country. All they want to do is try to own the libs, but at the same time, what they're revealing, as far as I'm concerned, is just how wicked and how corrupt they are, right? And so before we get into that, let me take care of some very, very important housekeeping items. For those of you who don't know who I am, all right, you never heard of me, right? I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is 12 because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. Hands down. W, Rosa. All right. W, Maddie. Wow. The second H is because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I will be, honestly, the first to apologize. W, Madonna. Thank you so much. I'll be the first to apologize, but I'll have to understand why I apologize. All right, you just can't say, "Oh, you hurt my feelings," or "That was a low blow," right? They like to say it's a low blow. No, it's not a low blow. Most likely, it just means you need to sit your special behind down and do what? Listen to this special broadcast, right? And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, and it's arguably one of the most important. Good morning, Zena. Welcome. Nice to see you. The most important H of them all. And don't worry, I understand there's been some treason in the kingdom, and I'll deal with it. And if you don't like how I deal with it, you know what? I understand, but I got to do it. The last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am and will always remain what? You've guessed it, the most handsome. Listen, Alter Ego, if you just want to be a hater, why don't you go try out for the Hater Olympics, Alter Ego? Because, listen, it's undeniable at this point, champ. Come on, bro. What I'm doing, you know, hands down, there's no one out there doing what I do, all right? I give it to you straight, and you know what? If you like it, you like it. If you don't, so what? You still like it, because it's me. What's good? Now, like I was saying, many of you understand why I do what I do, and not just me, but all the other people who are a part of it. We might not always agree on things politically because, you know, we all have our right to our own opinion. But one thing we all agree right now, that the urgency of saving this country, it's way more important than, you know, our personal preferences right now. And the urgency right now has to do with the sitting president of the United States, who we all know shouldn't even be sitting in that chair. All right. He really needs to be somewhere, as far as I'm concerned, he needs to be in prison. All right. Because I don't get it. How do you ruin everything and then get to be the president of the United States? Right. But I understand now why it happened and how it happened. Right. Apparently, he is a microcosm, so to speak, of what's really happening in America. We have a lot of sick people, a lot of sick folks out here who are suffering. And, you know, they didn't understand that their suffering has nothing to do with Donald Trump. But for some strange reason, Donald Trump has been able to convince these people that he would be able to relieve them of their suffering. All right, because he's a snake oil salesman, right? And he's a con artist, he's a criminal, right? And so they've hitched their wagons onto him, and now they're realizing, but it's too late, right? It's too late, honestly. They're realizing that they made a terrible mistake, but you know what? This train's going 100 miles an hour faster, and it's going right off of a cliff, and they're on it, and there's really nothing that they can do. And so what we got to do is this. We're going to hit them with so much truth this morning that we're going to make sure that on their way straight to hell, they know they made a terrible mistake. So let me go and check in with the audience. Is there anyone out there still supporting Donald Trump? Is there anyone out there, honestly? Is there anyone out there still supporting Donald Trump? Yes. Man, myth, the legend. Absolutely. Anyone out there still supporting Donald Trump? Okay. Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. Fair enough. And it's funny you changed your name back to Your Majesty, bro. I guess we wore that other name out for you, huh? We'll wear that name out too. Well, here's the thing. If you don't want me to hurt your feelings this morning, honestly, MAGA, just leave right now. Stop all this reporting and stop getting, he you know, because they do this thing where they just, I don't know how you all do it. I think there's a Discord out there, because I got Zeus haters out there, right? I think there's like a Discord out there, and all these MAGA demons out there, these Zeus haters, they go and they congregate and they say, I just can't stand that he gets out here every day religiously, right, Tara? He gets out here every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. sharp. Well, okay, I shouldn't say sharp because you know what it is, 6:40. And he sends the Trump supporters straight to hell. Who is he? Who is he? He is a DNC shill. He's he's getting paid to spread propaganda. And I say, your imaginations has clearly led you astray, because it's real simple. I'm just a man that loves this great country, and I see that America has the ability to live up to its potential, but it can't do that until we get rid of MAGA. And so what I'll say is this: if you're a Trump supporter and you hate being told the truth, and you hate being told zip it, because guess what? We know Trump supporters have how much credibility? How much credibility do Trump supporters have, ladies and gentlemen? Can someone give me a number? How much credibility does MAGA have? Someone, I'm looking in the chat. Look at W to the chat. Thank you. Thank you. So, MAGA, when you hear me talking, I want you to understand, I'm starting with an understanding that you have zero credibility. And it's just so amazing that these folks will come in here. Look at, somebody wrote negative 4,000. Negative 4. Woo! W. Rosa, thank you so much. Wow. These folks will come in here and try to actually have a serious conversation. You know, you can't have a serious conversation because look at your credibility. You are the most unserious, immoral, unethical, evil, vile creatures I've ever dealt with in my life. And you know what the real kicker is? And sometimes I have to think about it right before I go to bed. I go to bed and I say, you know what? And I say, they call themselves Christians too while they're doing this. They call themselves Christians while they're doing some of the most evil, vile acts known to mankind. All right. And you can see it right now happening with these ICE agents. And that's why you need people like Governor Gavin Newsom. Governor Gavin Newsom, by the way. And we'll get into that, ladies and gentlemen, because you know what? There's an art of doing what Gavin Newsom is doing. All right. And I honestly, you know, we can all sit back because you know what the right wants to do. Oh, Gavin Newsom has ruined California and all this other stuff. But meanwhile, these folks, they taking people who used to live in California and they go into the red state, and they're taking all of the trash in the red states, and these people are in Texas thinking that, oh well, Texas is way better than California. No, it's not. I mean, Texas is a great, beautiful state. It's a beautiful state. Every state is beautiful, but anybody that's been out here, you know, California, you have 6 microclimates. You can go to the beach, you can go to the Tahoe area and get into some snow and start skiing. You can go find you a nice desert, and then the food. Oh my gosh, the cuisine is out here. And I say to myself, how are people so ignorant about how beautiful the Golden State is? And it finally dawned on me. A lot of these folks who voted for Donald Trump, they've never left the trailer park that they grew up in. W. Zeus. They've never left the trailer park area that they grew up in. And that's no offense, because if that's where you start at, that's where you start at. But a lot of folks have actually went way beyond that trailer park, right? I mean, am I getting in trouble? Am I being too mean to MAGA for saying that? All right, fine, I'll dial it back. But here's the thing. If you don't want to have your feelings hurt this morning, and you don't want to hear the truth this morning, do us all a huge favor. Then just leave this show right now. Leave right now, because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you. I promise you it will. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they've officially closed. I take no responsibility for what goes on in here. It is what it is. You're all adults, and so just take your medicine, all right? Patrick says, Zeus, my guitars cost more than your Section 8 ghetto row home. All right, well, Patrick, if you don't mind, Patrick, could you come on up here and show me? I'll apologize to you, Patrick, if you could do that. So, Patrick, could you go get your main account? And I'm assuming Patrick must be one of the Russian bears. It could either be, you know, Stacy or Janae. Or even, the new one, there's Vegas Girl. Now, Vegas Girl, she's a new one. All right, and then there's Kimmy. There's 4 of them I know for sure that do this. They come in here with their backup accounts. Can you go get your main account and come talk to Big Zeus? And I don't want to hear you say anything. Just prove it. All right. So Patrick, I'm going to go ahead and Patrick, and do this. You know what, Patrick? You're going to get the first one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the Lake of Fire for Patrick. Patrick, I can't even invite Patrick up because they don't have the ability to go live. But you don't have the ability to go live, but you got guitars that cost more than the spread that I live in. That's crazy, champ, right? So what I got to do is expose these liars, ladies and gentlemen. And if this is your first time tuning into the show, this is why I do it. People like Patrick. Let's go ahead and send Patrick where he came from. Straight to hell!
Silence!
Hold on.
Silence! You MAGA Damon!
Hey, Patrick, say it with us. W. Zeus. Good morning, Ari. All right. And so, yeah, now back to what I was saying. You know, we're sitting right now, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump, he's gone off to Alaska. And in all seriousness, Russia, if you're listening, could you please do me a huge favor? Could you please just take the asset, Donald Trump, that you know, because we know he works for you. Could you just take him back with you? All right, we don't need him. W. How many of you all, honestly, let me check. What if Vladimir Putin just says, Trump, come back to Russia with me? All right, your mission is complete. Would anyone be upset about that? Would anyone be upset if Donald Trump just, if Vladimir Putin told Trump to come on back to Russia with him? Because, nope, anyone? Because we all know he's from what I've heard, he's a Russian asset. All right, we all know. Take him. All right, W to the chat. Someone wrote hell no. And that leads me to the next part of the joke. All right, because I'm never going to let this go. All right, and MAGA, this is for all of you who hate being woke. How many is there any Trump supporters out there? Any Trump supporters out there? Any of you Trump supporters hate being woke? Because I love to tell this story. It's like, it's probably one of the best stories I told myself. Because you got to, okay, Tiny Take Talk Tim. Okay, fair enough. So Tiny Take Talk Tim, get this. This is a funny story. There's this guy out in Texas. And him and his family, they're living in America. And they were living under President Joe Biden. And and the Democrats, and they said, you know what? I can't stand the United States of America anymore. This country's gone woke. And so he talked to his wife and children. He says, we got to get out of this place because we can't be woke this much because it's not good for us, right? We can't. Where are we going to go, honey? This is what the wife said. I've been looking and I've been doing some research. I ran it through ChatGPT, the basic version, because you can't afford, the full premium version. So they use the basic version of their AI, and they don't even know you're supposed to train the AI. All right, where are we going? Well, according to AI, they say we should go, move to Russia. And the wife said, really? And something in her said, maybe this isn't a good idea. But she's like, this is my husband and I don't want to separate the family. So he said, we're going to Russia because we don't want to be woke anymore with the Democrats. This is serious. And so they got enough money, sold the mobile home, I think. They sold it was a Ford Pinto. I think it was the year 72. So, and they probably had a total of about $1,500. And they used the last of their money because the rest of it they sent to Donald Trump. And they said, we're going to go to Russia. All right. And so they packed the family up. They got their passport, never had a passport, never left the trailer court ever in their life. But they're going to go to Russia because they don't want to be woke anymore. So they get to Russia. And they're like, wow, you can just feel all the stress of being woke leave them. And they're like, yes, we're finally in Russia where we don't have to be woke anymore. Promise you, they find a way to get a meeting with, officials who work for Vladimir Putin. And they say, because we know you work with Donald Trump, our dear leader. Could you set us up with the same program you set Donald Trump up, our dear leader, with? And they say, oh, yeah, we can do that. And they say, what we need you to do is just, how much do you got on you? Well, I don't have any money on me. I scrambled. This is the last I got. Okay, since you don't got enough to do that, how about this? Why don't you take this? And they gave him, one of those weapons, right? And then they gave him they didn't even give him the full military gear, but they said, if you just take this and you go over here, what we'll do is we'll make sure you're not ever going to be woke again. And he said, you promise us? And he said, yeah, I promise you, you will never be woke again. And so legend has it, story tells, this guy was sent to go battle in Ukraine somewhere. And guess what? It turns out this guy he's no longer alive. Yeah. And so the joke now is, yeah, you know what happens if you go to Russia? You won't be woke because you're no longer alive. Because you're no longer alive. You get it. And this is going to be honestly the outcome for most of you Trump supporters. W. Zeus. You can go look into that. That's a real story. He left Texas to go be in Russia, and Putin sent him onto the battlefield, and he's no longer alive, and he got his wish. He'll never, ever be woke with the Democrats ever again. You'll never have to talk about President Biden. Nope. You won't have to talk about Kamala Harris. Nope. And that's fine with me, all right? That's seriously, it's fine, all right? Now, what I want to do is I want to get into some updates about things that you and I understand to be real. This came to my attention this morning, and this is for all of you Trump supporters, especially you, DJ, who love to pretend like it isn't what it is. Let's talk about how prices are higher right now as a result of Donald J. Trump's tariffs, all right? Let's get this on the record.
Today, new data on the economy providing mixed news. Wholesale pricing skyrocketing unexpectedly. The Producer Price Index, which shows the price that producers of goods are paying rather than the consumer, up 3.3% this year.
So let's stop that. So the producers, you know how you all like to say, who the people that are selling it to us, right? They're telling us, according to their numbers, the costs are going up. And so this is honestly a disaster for Donald Trump's presidency. I firmly believe that this information that we keep getting about the economy, mixed with Donald Trump's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, they're going to be his downfall. It's like his Achilles heel. All right. So listen up, MAGA. As far as we're concerned, and we got the information, you don't. The economy is going in the wrong direction.
To a year earlier, according to the Labor Department. In July, those prices jumped 0.9%. That's the biggest increase in 3 years and about 5 times more than the 0.2% rise that was expected, fueling concerns about inflation.
This is, I would say, incredibly concerning because what we're seeing is that this pricing pressure is building farther back in the supply chains.
The question now, who will pay that price? Will businesses absorb the cost or pass it down to the consumer? There was some optimism earlier this week when the Labor Department reported inflation holding steady in July at 2.7%, but today's numbers pushing the markets lower on the opening bell. Still, the White House adamant the rise is not due to Trump's tariffs, saying, quote, the doom and gloom predictions of President Trump's tariff ratcheting up inflation continue to be proven flat out wrong. The president today saying this.
And now our inflation is down to a perfect number, a beautiful number.
But there is...
Now our inflation is down to a perfect number, a beautiful number. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like I've been telling you all. We are heading towards a 1929 style depression. Yeah, one like we've never ever seen in our lives. The economy is getting worse. It's not growing, it's shrinking. Jobs are being cut. People are losing their jobs. I heard a story the other day. Someone lost their job. And this is someone who voted for Donald Trump. And they said, you know what it was, Zeus? It was the tariffs. Yeah, the business that I was working for, they just couldn't keep going. They couldn't keep absorbing the costs. And so they started doing layoffs. So I took the package and I left. And I said, wow, now what are you going to do? Well, I got to either go collect that unemployment or I got to polish up my resume. And when they told me this, I couldn't help but hold in the laughter. And it just came out. I just laughed and I said, you're finally starting to understand what I've been telling you the whole time, right? Your dear leader doesn't give a darn about you. And I hope, and I said this, and Mom, I'm so sorry, but I had to say it. I said, you know what? I hope your wife leaves you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do a W Zeus. Hope she leaves you, and I hope she takes the kids. All right, because, you think that she's loyal to you? Okay, no, you're going to find out just like a lot of people found out that if the money ain't right, then the honey ain't right, W Zeus. And you know what I decided to do? Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire. Let's go ahead and warm it up because there's a lot of Trump supporters right now on this app right now crashing out. Every time they see me, every time they see you, they can't stop yelling, right? We had one yesterday. Dame came up here. Why are y'all yelling? Why y'all yelling at us, right? All we doing is telling y'all the truth, right? And I know why you're yelling. Because it ain't all ivory towers and roses. It's really hell on earth right now. Your pockets is touching. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send these Trump supporters where they came from, straight to hell. Am I making anything up, ladies and gentlemen? Am I making anything up, honestly? I mean, you could see the frustration in these folks' eyes. Donald Trump is sitting around here lying to them every single day about what they're living and what they're experiencing. And guess who they want to get mad at? They want to get mad at you. They want to get mad at me. Or you know who they want to get mad at now? I got this. You know who I got? You know who they're mad at right now, ladies and gentlemen? W. Gavin Newsom. That's who they're mad at now. They're mad. W. Gavin Newsom, right? What did Gavin ask? And doesn't, if you want to do it, MAGA, if you want to do it, honestly, you got to look at that and you got to go, oh man, that guy, this is definitely next level diabolical. The way Gavin Newsom is just handling Donald Trump and his supporters right now, talking about, if you didn't see it yesterday, the election rigging, measures that Gavin Newsom was talking about yesterday. I'll give you a little dose of what Gavin Newsom was talking about yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't listen, in case you didn't catch it. All right, we'll talk about some of the things that Governor Gavin Newsom talked about. But, one of the things that happened was the labor commissioner, Gloria, she made a very important statement. We'll get this on the record.
That he wanted to deport criminals.
Hold on.
Representing 2.3 million workers throughout the state, over 1,300 different local unions from every sector you can imagine. And we stand with our colleagues today in calling for a response. And I'm going to say that very clearly. This is not something we take lightly. We voted on this and it was unanimous among our unions for one reason. We're not a partisan organization. A lot of people forget that. We have Democrats and Republicans. And we understand that some of our members even voted for Donald Trump. We understand that. They were told by him that he wanted to make us more safe, that he wanted to deport criminals. And instead, he's been deporting and targeting workers and grandmothers and children and dreamers. They were told, even our Republican members, that he was for working people.
Oh.
That somehow he cared about bringing manufacturing and jobs back to America and to make sure that working people are taken care of. And what has he done? He has systematically destroyed our federal government unions by abolishing, basically, collective bargaining agreements that were decades in the making. He has taken away the right to collectively bargain of every employee he possibly can, and that is not pro-worker.
Exactly.
So we tell our members who believed him, it's okay. He fucking lied.
Now, keep it clean, but how many of you all agree? I mean, and we've known it because we've known Donald Trump has been a liar. Over 30,000 lies in his first administration. If you voted for him and you didn't know that, shame on you, honestly. But let's get into some of the things Governor Gavin Newsom made a point to call out yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, because this is very, very important, all right?
The most diverse city, in the most diverse county, in the most diverse state, in the world's most diverse democracy. And I've long believed that the world looks to us, to all of you, to see that it's possible to live together and advance together and prosper together across every conceivable and imaginable difference. What makes LA great, what makes California great, and what makes the United States of America great is that at our best, we don't tolerate our diversity, we celebrate our diversity. And it's a point of pride because we're all in this together.
That's right.
Where are we? At Democracy Center.
Yeah.
And right outside, at this exact moment, are dozens and dozens of ICE agents.
Sick.
Donald Trump, you think it's coincidental? Donald Trump and his minions, Tom Homan, tough guy, clearly decided, coincidentally or not, that this was a location to advance ICE arrests. Indiscriminate? Perhaps. We'll find out later. It was certainly indiscriminate when a 15-year-old disabled boy had a gun put to his head in Los Angeles trying to go to school just a few days ago. I met with it.
Shame on him. Shame.
I don't need to belabor this, except I want to level set. People are scared. People are fearful. You had a United States Senator that was thrown down to the ground in a federal building. Alex Padilla. J.D. Vance's name is Alex Padilla, not Jose Padilla.
That part. Get it right.
That's the Vice President of the United States. It's another museum not so far away from us. Talks about those 53 days. Some of you know what I'm referring to. Wake up, America.
Wake up.
This is a serious moment.
It is.
Wake up to what's going on. Wake up to the fear, the anxiety. Wake up to what's happening, not just here in Los Angeles, where we saw our streets militarized. We saw due process rights thrown out the window. You heard the word disappeared. I was with a 12-year-old boy born in Oxnard, California,
Wow.
whose mother and father were disappeared. 20 years going to the same packing facility every single day. He didn't even know how to get back into his own home, into his own house.
Wow.
Had no brothers and sisters. He has now disappeared in an attempt to find his parents.
Wow.
That's Trump's
WJ.
America. That's the moment we're living in. So these are sober times. And so I'm deeply grateful to all of you for standing up and for being here today. I'm grateful for all the elected officials that are here, members of
Go ahead,
Congress,
Gavin.
not just our 2 U.S. senators, to members of the California legislature for having the courage of their convictions, for standing tall and standing firm, to recognize today is Liberation Day in the state of California. And as Senator Schiff said, Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back. Here's the good thing about California, folks. We're the size of 21 state populations combined. We're the 4th largest economy in the world. We're not a small, isolated state.
No. Get him,
I
Gavin.
know they say don't mess with Texas.
Don't. What?
Well, don't mess with the great Golden State.
Let's go.
And so
It's
we're
over,
here
MAGA.
with
It's
our
over.
state of mind, with the clarity of our purpose and conviction, to recognize that we need to reconcile the world we're living in.
Yeah.
We do have agency. We're not bystanders in this world. We can shape the future, and that's what we intend to do today. We're here because Donald Trump, on January 6th, tried to light democracy on fire,
And that-
tried to wreck this country,
Get him, Gavin.
tried to steal an election, as Alex just said,
Yeah.
by trying to dial in for 11, almost 12,000 votes. And here we are in open and plain sight before one vote is cast in the 2026 midterm election. And here he is once again trying to rig the system. He doesn't play by a different set of rules. He doesn't believe in the rules. And as a consequence,
Yeah.
we need to disabuse ourselves of the way things have been done.
Yeah.
It's not good enough to just hold hands, have a candlelight vigil, and talk about the way the world should be.
Nope. Nope.
We have got to recognize the cards that have been dealt. And we have got to meet fire with fire.
Fire.
And we've got to be held to a higher level of accountability.
Yep. Fire's coming,
So
MAGA.
that's what this is about.
That's-
It's not complicated. We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats.
Wow.
We're doing it in reaction to that act.
Yeah.
We're doing it mindful of our higher angels and better angels. We're doing it mindful that we want to model better behavior, as we've been
That
doing
better,
for
Patrick?
15 years in the state of California with our independent redistricting commission. But we cannot unilaterally disarm. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district all across this country, not just in Texas, but in Missouri, where J.D. Vance went just a week ago, in Indiana, in places like Ohio, in places like Florida. We need to stand up, not just California. Other blue states need to stand up. We need to be firm in our resolve. We need to put back. So we're here in that light. And I'm grateful to have remarkable partners in the legislature. It's a tall task. We're asking them for 2/3 of a legislative consent, but this is the difference. This is the difference between what's happening in Texas and what's happening here in California.
Get him, Gavin.
We didn't receive a phone call from the President of the United States to then quietly go in the back room and start drawing maps and legislatively try to jam them through against the consent of the people. We're doing precisely the opposite. We're working through a very transparent, temporary, and public process.
Let's go.
We're putting the maps on the ballot, and we're giving the power to the people. This will be the first redistricting that's ever done.
Thank you.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
We tried to raise the standards, and these guys are not playing by any set of rules.
Yeah. Like
So
that,
this
Patrick?
time requires us to act anew, not just think anew. And so I'm grateful to all of the remarkable leaders that have stepped up this unifying effort here in the state of California. And we'll be asking for the people on November 4th, a special election coinciding with a lot of local municipal elections, to provide a temporary pathway for congressional maps. We will affirm our commitment to the state independent redistricting after the 2030 census.
Yeah.
But we're asking the voters for their consent to do midterm redistricting in 2026, 2028, and 2030 for the congressional maps
Listen to this part.
to respond to what's
Patrick,
happening
listen to
in
this.
Texas,
This
to
is
respond
my favorite
what
part.
Trump is trying to excite.
This is my favorite part.
And we'll do so in a way that also affirms our desire as a state to level the playing field all across the United States. We believe in a national independent redistricting framework.
Right.
And we believe that's the right goal and the right thing to pursue. And I will just state for the fact, Zoe Lofgren, who runs our California delegation, she authored the bill. Democrats unanimously supported that National Independent Redistricting Commission. Republicans were nowhere to be found. They want to rig these elections. And they want the power that gerrymandering provides. Because they know what Donald Trump knows. He's going to lose the midterms.
He's going?
He knows de facto his presidency ends in 17 months.
Thank you.
When Speaker Jeffries is back in.
Thank you. So thank you, Governor Gavin Newsom. What this is really about is ending Donald J. Trump's presidency de facto in 17 months. And so what we want to do is, and I hate to say it, but we got to fight fire with fire, whatever it takes to get that W. And I'm going to be so down for it. And so what I will say is this, Patrick, and all of you out there who don't get what's about to happen, playtime is truly over. Y'all better get it out while you can, because all you're doing is ginning up the support that we need. Thank you, Patrick, for being as disgusting as you are. Thank you to, who is it, Miles, for being an evil and sick and twisted person. DJ, all of you. Thank you all for being disgusting people, because when we get done doing what we do, I promise you, there's not going to be any let up, all right? So that's a W, Zeus, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, I got to do it. Let's go ahead and do another round of the Lake of Fire for all the Trump supporters. You see what happens when you break the rules, and now all of a sudden, guess what? You're going to start saying, oh, that's not fair, that's not fair. I don't want to hear it. I don't got time for no crocodile tears. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send these crybabies where they came from, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, who do we got? Okay, let's get back. All right, W. Zeus. Now this guy, this demon right here, like I said, he's heading to Russia. But, you know, before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do?
Sure. If I could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
All right, thank you. Well, we are going to go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask the audience, should we stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein on this platform? Should we stop talking about it? Should we just sweep this under the rug? Because, you know, when the sitting president says stuff like that, I get more interested in the Epstein thing. And every single day, you can't make this stuff up. And when I go onto the right and I argue with these people, and I can do it, they don't think I can talk about it for as long as the time I can, but I honestly could talk about it because I'm of the mindset that it's not going to be. I don't want to live in a country where we normalize this kind of behavior. I just don't think that's a good idea. And so, yeah, I'd rather talk because that's the way we got to battle now. It's like we got to battle and fight for your ideas. So every day, you can't make it up. We get more and more information about this thing. And one of the things that has recently happened is, and you know me, I don't like to bring people outside of the actual people, the politicians, especially like their family members, because I just think that's really disgusting. But a couple of days ago, I did hear something in the wind about Melania suing Hunter Biden. Did you hear about this? Did you all hear about Melania saying she's going to go after Hunter Biden because it was tied to his interview where he said that Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump? Honestly, I could care less. I'm just like, the whole situation is bad. The whole situation. I've seen them in photos together. I don't know what to make of it. And you know what Melania's past is? It's kind of like, why is this a bone to pick all of a sudden now? It's one of those things that just makes you go, like, really? Because you don't get it. The more you try to silence people and stop us from talking about an issue, we're going to dig deeper. And so that happened. She threatened to sue Hunter Biden, and I think it was like $1 billion or something like that. And I said, what? I don't want to get sued either, but what does Hunter Biden think of this? And so we got a little update from Hunter Biden about this, ladies and gentlemen. And so what we'll do is we're going to let Hunter Biden speak for himself. And I do this in the spirit of transparency, right? I don't want MAGA, when I go and talk to them about the E-Files, to say, oh, you can't say that because, she's suing Hunter, Well, make sure you know what Hunter says about that suit, and then we'll talk about it, all right? So let's get this on the record.
Presidential litigation has arrived. It's lawsuit time. In my hand is a legal demand letter addressed to Mr. Hunter Biden from the First Lady of the United States, demanding a retraction of Channel 5's video called Hunter Biden Returns, in which Mr. Biden here makes some speculative comments about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, Melania Trump, and Donald Trump.
Okay, well, they knew each other well. They spent an enormous time together. According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the President met.
Really? Yeah. Epstein made the intro?
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff. Yeah. And so I only can go by what people are saying, and I don't know.
He didn't make these claims out of nowhere. They come from another journalist named Michael Wolff, who is a biographer that actually spoke to Jeffrey Epstein. But now here we are. And I've got $1 billion document in my hands because Mrs. Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages if we don't take the video down, and if Hunter here doesn't issue a formal apology to Mrs. Trump. So now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Fuck that. That's not going to happen.
Thank you. He said it's not going to happen.
Well, first of all, is that what I said was what I have heard and seen reported and written, primarily from Michael Wolff, but also dating back all the way to 2019, when the New York Times, I think Annie Carney and Maggie Haberman reported that sources said that Jeffrey Epstein claimed to be the person to introduce Donald Trump to Melania at that time. And then it was, I think, excerpted in a book that was published in Vanity Fair. And I think it's been repeated by journalists and authors since then. But the primary source was the interviews that Michael Wolff has been conducting, in which he has actually tapes of, I think, hours and hours and hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein directly.
Go ahead, Hunter.
So, fact of the matter is that, I don't think these threats of a lawsuit are add up to anything other than a design distraction, because it's not about who introduced whom to who. I don't know how that's in any way rises to the level of defamation to begin with.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that this is about hundreds, if not over 1,000 minors, children who were raped by Jeffrey Epstein. And I don't believe in guilt by association alone, but the connections have become they're so glaringly obvious that I think they're trying to use other things to distract. And I also think they're bullies, and they think that $1 billion is going to scare me. Which is, the fact of the matter is that if they'd like to go, I have this to say to them. If they want to sit down for a deposition and clarify the nature of the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, if the president and the first lady want to do that, and all of the known associates around them at the time of whatever time that they met, I'm more than happy to provide them the platform to be able to do it.
So if you countersue, they'd have to sit for deposition?
No, not if I countersue. If they sue me, they would have to sit for a deposition. Almost certainly, certainly the first lady would have to sit for a deposition, and most likely the president would have to sit for a deposition. And based upon Clinton versus Jones, the Supreme Court case, the president would not be exempt from having to sit down for a deposition,
and that would be a pretty big deal, right?
Well, I think the entire world would love to finally get to the bottom of the true nature of their relationship.
But
so what we got is W. Hunter Biden. If this is where it takes us, where we gotta get Hunter Biden and Melania to have this legal battle played out, so we can get to the bottom of the e-files, I say let's do it. And so what I'll say is this, ladies and gentlemen, again, MAGA, your days are numbered, honestly, because you know, just like I know, none of this makes any sense, does it? Why is this the bone to pick? Why not just simply release the files? And the answer is quite obvious. It's because not only it's not just he's in the files, but we all know that whatever is in there, he is so embarrassed and ashamed of that he doesn't want it to be known. In the MAGA, the only question I could ask you, and if you could give me an answer, any Trump supporters out there, what could him and Jeffrey Epstein have done that is so dangerous and nasty that he doesn't want it to be revealed? Can any Trump supporters want to do that? I know you won't give me an answer, but you know what it is. It's evil. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the Lake of Fire once more again. She's in the files too. Woo! Little Hawk, that's wild, but you might be right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send these Trump supporters straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA Damon.
You can go watch the whole interview. It was a very informative interview. I mean, because, Hunter Biden, he's laying it out there, all right? If it takes him to actually be the one that has to get this thing into a courtroom where we can start, peeling back the layers of the onion, he's willing to do it. It's going to cost, obviously, but we need to get to the bottom of it because none of us think it's acceptable to normalize American society, American culture, to the point where it's acceptable for people like Jeffrey and others to just do things to the most vulnerable. All right. And so we're going to help make sure that happens. All right. We're going to keep the awareness out there. All right. And as much as MAGA would like for us to stop talking about it, I won't stop talking about it, especially when I see the conservative women. All right. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, look at the time. It's now time to have authentic conversations. And you know how I do it. We start with the people who may still support Donald Trump, and then we move to the people who want to get out of the cult, and then we bring up the mutuals. All right. And so, yes, W. Zeus. All right. I'll start it off. Do we have any Trump supporters out there brave enough that want to come up here and still try to defend Donald Trump at this point? All right. Because if you look at it, you got to go, what can you honestly defend Donald Trump on right now? And I don't want to entertain conversations about Democrats because it's totally useless, honestly. Democrats aren't running Democrats aren't running the government right now. All right. The best you can do is say you have an issue with a judge. All right. But nobody wants to hear that. What we're talking about is, why is the economy not going in the direction we were told it would go into? All right. Why haven't the files been released, so to speak? All right. So put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. I'll bring you right on up. We'll get to the bottom of this. It doesn't take too long to debunk these people, all right? Because we know where they dwell at. They dwell and peddle misinformation and disinformation, all right? Yes. Yeah, even Marjorie Taylor Greene is disgusted. Yeah, I completely agree. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Tiny Tank Top Newsom. Oh, is that what you're saying, Gregory? Wow, that's crazy. Let's see, who do we got? All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and we'll start with you. All right, because this isn't too difficult. Let's see, who do we have? Who do we have out there? I mean, W Zeus for annihilating the demons. All right, let's see. Look at that. They know. Thank you, Little Hawk. He's not adding to the platform. They just come in and they want to come up here and they want to pretend like they got information out here that we don't have access to. All right, send me a guest request. We've seen Democratic leadership. LR Cool J, greetings. How are you?
Hi, Zeus. I'm not a Trump supporter, and I'm 60 and I live in Georgia, and of course I voted for Harris. But I think we have to realize that we're fighting functional stupidity with MAGA.
Is that what you want to call it?
Yeah, that's all I can call it, because I don't think they have also bad intention. They think that they're on the right side of everything, but they're so stupid they can't see. They've stopped using their critical thinking skills. So avoid any critical thinking, any suppression of dissent. So if anybody disagrees with him, they just jump on that.
Yeah.
It's over. They weaponize slogans, MAGA.
Yeah.
They've created a false enemy, the immigrants.
Yeah.
They're going play by play by the Yahtzee handbook. And it's so funny because they don't think for themselves. They normalize lies, and they now have a blind loyalty to the orange Cheeto.
Yeah, you're not lying.
And for them to say anything against him, they can't, because he's so interwoven with their personality and their identity that it's like a self-inflicted wound. For them to say anything bad about him, they can't do it because they're talking about themselves.
Yeah. So you think it's all like projection, and you think it's all an act, and that.
I don't think it's projection, and I wouldn't call it a cult. I really believe that it's brainwashing, but it's such an allegiance to him. He has really broken these people mentally that they've given up all their critical thinking skills.
Yeah. Well, do you think they had any critical thinking skills to begin with, or you know what I mean? Because I 64% of them don't even have a college degree, and so you just got to ask yourself. Is it easy to manipulate a group of people that barely can, think critically?
Well, he says he loves the uneducated, and that's the reason he does, is because they won't take the time to stop and challenge anything that they know is an obvious lie. For example, we're eating the cats and dogs.
I remember that.
An obvious lie, but they believed it.
Wow.
They elevate him to a point of king. I hate to say it that way, but yeah, they do elevate him.
They worship him. I think it's beyond king. They really do believe he's God.
I would have to agree with that. And I mean, and that's why the reason that you're trying to fight a demon, you're not fighting demons, you're fighting stupidity. So how do you go around? And I think what you're doing every day is amazing. Hopefully it gets through to them.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can fight this.
It's getting through in ways you don't even know, right? Because we had one guy come up here. It took about 2 or 3 months, but I think his name was Ex-MAGA Dog, and I haven't heard from him since. But I used to cover the thing mass deportations quite a bit, and people would keep saying, "Oh, Zeus, you're race baiting," because they would think I'm doing it to be funny. But no, I got to use that style in order to get the message out there. And they come back 2 or 3 months later. And that's why I say it takes about 2 to 3 months from when you plant the seed in their minds for those who may have truly been duped to come back and go, wow, I didn't understand it. And, now I'm starting to feel it, because in that particular incident, he was of Hispanic descent, said he seen what ICE was doing to his family, friends, and his community. And now he had to ride around with his passport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's starting to hit close to home.
It might hit close to home, but that still will not be enough until it affects them directly.
Yeah.
Because they have now become morally passive. So anyone that can watch what's going on with ICE and these and Alligator Alcatraz, and I'm former military spouse, and I've been to Dachau.
Yeah.
And I've taken the time to go and read this, and I think people don't realize the horrors that we're about to experience with this man in office. I mean, I will tell you, if they bring the National Guard to my state, Georgia, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm out. My ex-husband has already moved to Italy.
Wow.
And I'm like on the point of I'd rather not live here.
Wow.
You're a fascist dictator.
Yeah.
And I'm born an American. I mean, I have voted since the 80s.
Wow.
And I've always been in politics and reading and understanding, and it's just horrific. Sorry, my little dog.
That's fine. That's fine. The dog has an understanding of this too. He knows what you just said. He uprooting his living. That's scary to the dog. But I get it.
I would not stay here if they invoked the National Guard in my state. I would leave.
Yeah.
Because at that point, this is no longer a democracy.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to participate anymore, because it hurts my heart to watch how America has declined and fallen.
Yeah.
And that's all I came up to say. It was really just to tell you that you're fighting stupidity.
Fair enough.
You're not fighting a cult. I mean,
enough.
some of the MAGA is a cult. I will agree with that, but it's really a party like the Yahtzee party.
Fair
we
enough.
have to start fighting it that way.
Yeah.
What you're doing on a daily basis is amazing.
Thank you.
I listen every day.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I appreciate that, LR. All right, thank you so much. All right. Well, I'm gonna move it on. All right, but I appreciate
you giving me the time.
You're welcome. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And you got some feedback out there. All right, I appreciate it. I love it when the audience keeps us all honest. Yeah, they said it is a cult. And, and some people might not think it's a cult. I think you got a blend of a lot of different things going on, all right? But it's obviously, to me, I just lump it all and I say it's a strong demonic evil force out here, and it's holding our country back from living up to its true promises, all right? And so in the spirit of that conversation, let's go ahead and try to see if we could get any more of these so-called patriots to come on up here. Where are the conservative women at? That's who I want to talk to as of late. I realize the MAGA men are too disgusting, and they can't control themselves when they get up here and they start talking to Big Zeus. All right, because right, Ange, the conservative men, it's in you. It's deep in you. You're sick. You're disgusting people, and it'll take something like me to really sit on TikTok and argue with you for about 2-3 hours before you actually, before I walk them down, so to speak. But the conservative women, I'm really at a point with all of you where I go, what about the womanhood? What about the sisterhood, so to speak? Like, I thought that was a thing, right? I thought women stuck together about certain issues. And the main thing I'm talking about is the Epstein thing. How could you sit back and watch anybody in your family, anyone you know, sit there and say that what Donald Trump is doing in terms of how he's not managing the situation correctly? How could you sit back there and not be upset about that? It really, honestly, it bothers me. Because I know that these same women, and I might get into trouble for saying it, but if it was a person of color, y'all would be demanding. They would be irate. They would be yelling at the top of their lungs, throw them into the bottom of the jail. Give them the ride on white lightning, so to speak. You know what that is, the electric chair. They would be demanding all of that if there was a person of color. And I know it. And I know it because I live here in the United States of America. I've seen it happen. I've seen you do it. But when it comes to this guy right here, you have so much information about what. All right. Hold on. You have so much information what he's done, right? Believe me, remember?
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what?
You heard him? Oh, hold on. You heard him?
If you weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Stop it. Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick. Yeah.
Hold on. All right.
If Ivanka,
All right, let's see.
if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Stop it. Oh, it's so weird.
You get it. You heard him say that. How many of you have heard him say?
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
How do you conservative women excuse that? But then you'll go on a platform like mine, and I've seen you talk to the Democrat men out here. You know, because the Democrat men aren't perfect. I've seen some Democrat men say things to women, and I'm going, that's not acceptable, right? And this is what they'll say. They'll go, oh, this is how all Democrat men are. On one side, you'll call us betas, right? But then on the other side, you'll be like, you're not respectful towards women. And I say, but how are you going to say that to these guys? But then you ignore everything Donald Trump says. It really bothers me, to the conservative women out there, because it's like you want your cake and you want to eat it too. And you don't think we people can see the hypocrisy in all of this, right? And so that's why I think it's very important for us to have these conversations with the conservative women. I'm not going to, well, you know, I do what I do. I do the judgment and all that stuff. But honestly, what kind of example do you think you're setting for your children, your grandchildren, especially if they're little girls? What kind of example do you think you're setting for them by sitting up here saying, "Oh, I support Donald Trump. Oh, I know how to separate the man from his policies"? You would never say that. If your husband cheated on you, you wouldn't say, "I know how to separate the breadwinner from the bad behavior." You wouldn't say that. And like I use these examples of celebrities. Think of your best celebrity. If LeBron James, you know, he has a clean image, or even Obama, you would never say, "Oh, I know how to separate the athlete from the scandal." You would be insisting, and you would go as far as to say, "You see what I mean? They're all the same." Because this is what we've heard. And I live in America. I know this. They're all the same. 911, please help me. This guy's being a me. Okay, so, but when it comes to Donald Trump and this Jeffrey Epstein thing, it makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. Don't lie in my face and act like all of a sudden you're all good with it. And if you're just making money on TikTok, all right, just say that's what I'm doing. I'm making the money, Zeus, and this is what it takes to make the money, even though it's going directly against my values. But you can't convince anyone like me that you are okay with that behavior, because I've seen your evidence of it. Your whole thing is, you know how they say Laken Riley, and I don't even want to bring their family in. You heard about, you know, say your name, Laken Riley, and they get on you about what that criminal did, and he was an illegal immigrant in the country. They get on you about that, but you're not going to get on Pam Bondi for saying, not only, and this is the most bizarre part, she was the attorney general when Epstein was prosecuted in the state of Florida, and Donald Trump picks her to be his attorney general in his second term. And what's the connection? Epstein. It's Epstein. It's the connection. And you don't have a problem with Pam Bondi covering? Where are the MAGA women at? You don't have a problem with a woman, because you know what Ghislaine Maxwell did. And one of the survivors, Virginia Giuffre, said Ghislaine Maxwell was worse because she broke the sisterhood. She broke the sisterhood and actually did worse than what he did. And that's crazy for me to even think. So it's like, wow. And now you're going, well, what's higher than that? And I would argue having an attorney general that's providing cover for the woman that's worse than Epstein is worse. They don't want to come up here and talk. MAGA doesn't want to come up here and talk to Big Zeus, because as much as they think they've been cooking me and getting me, they know when they get in the box with me, all that other stuff goes out the window. It gets serious real fast. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I get it. No, Gregory, it ain't a word salad. It's a truth salad. All right? they should be coming up here and saying, you know what, I this is enough, because the first thing, and this happened, and then I'm going to open up the box, and I was arguing with a conservative woman, about these files, and the emotions started to come up, and it got real intense, right? And then this is what they said. They said something along the lines of like this: because I was SA'd before. This is what the woman said to me. And when that happens, personally, that's trigger warning stuff. And I don't take that lightly. And so, but then I get put into a weird space, and I hate to make this what the show is about right now because I didn't plan to, but it's really bothering me that hold on. It's really bothering me that who will say things like that they've been victims of it, are enabling the DOJ and Donald Trump. It really bothers me. All right. And, do I press the issue, or, do I just sit back and go, oh, well, argument's over because you just said that to me about you having that experience. And that's the thing that I've been wrestling with. And so that's why I think right now I get it. I know the MAGA men, they're the disgusting ones. They're the ones doing a lot of this stuff, but don't want to admit it. But if you don't believe me, there's accounts out there on X where you can follow. There's people out here tracking these so-called conservative men that do these heinous things that involve children, and they show them getting their mugshots taken. So I see the folks who are truly doing this stuff, but it's the women that are enabling it that's really getting to me. Do not tell me you care about protecting women and children. Do not mention Lake and Riley and the immigrants and all that stuff when you yourself are sitting out here supporting this person right here who won't release the files. You're a bunch of hypocrites, and you know it. You know it. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got? Oh, look at that. All right, I get to talk to. I mean, and my box is open. If you really think that I'm wrong, come on up here and talk to me. But I know you won't do it. Good morning, Ange. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Did I cut too deep a little bit? Did I get too nasty? And then when I said what I said,
No.
because I'm totally confused. I know you're not a MAGA woman, but you're a woman.
No, they
And
need
I would
to
think-
hear it even more.
And I would think even if the person was a conservative woman, issues around that, there has to be like common ground, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they are just as guilty, and I don't know if anybody's going to disagree with me. In fact, the MAGA women, I think you're worse. It is your job to protect these girls. It is your job. What you're teaching your daughter is that she can't come to you. When you're sitting up there and you're talking about and turning yourself into a pretzel to try to defend Donald Trump, the daughter's sitting there thinking, oh, geez, this is going on. I can't tell my mom that. My mom's not going to believe me. Her own mom. She's worried her own mom's not going to believe her. And I'm not saying men can't be nurturing. You sure as heck can be. But when you, as a mother, you carry this baby, you birth this baby, you sustain this baby. I mean, for however long, and dads are right there too, or stepmoms and any kind of guardian or whatever. You're supposed to protect them, and to have it. See, it hits home for me, Zeus, a lot because my daughter is 14.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we all have someone in here with a loved one, a daughter, a niece, a sister, whoever, granddaughter, that is that age. So when I sit there and I look at my daughter, and I just lately with all of this going on, I just look at her and I just can't imagine if anyone ever touched her in that way. They damn well better hope law enforcement gets to them before I do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And your answer right there, Ange, that's what I expect. Regardless of what political party you are subscribed to, that's the type of energy I'm hoping to detect when I engage in these kind of conversations. And I've been confused, to be quite honest, especially as a guy, because yesterday I said it, I have to check on, I'm learning about misogyny and things like that, and how to check my ego at the door, so to speak. And it's a lifelong thing you got to be willing to do. And when you run into these moments, you're going, what? Would she really say that if it was me? That's what I say to myself.
Right. I mean, I am hearing it. I don't go over there very much, but when I hear grown women my age or older still defending, and not just this man, but just like they don't want to release the files. I want to know everybody on there. I want to make that clear. Any man who ever preyed, I don't know how to put it TikTok friendly, on a child, a boy or a girl, you are sick. You cannot be rehabilitated. There's just nothing left for you but prison. There really isn't.
Yeah.
And they'll just defend him to the end. I'm trying to figure out if there's a bottom. What is the bottom with you people? There's literally no bottom. What would it be? Honestly, I almost feel like he could hurt their child right in front of them and say, oh, well,
he could go on Fifth Avenue and unalive, right? He could go on Fifth Avenue and unalive someone, and these folks would say the person deserved it.
And how early on did he say that? A decade ago. And when that darn fool said that, certain things he said along that trail back in 2015, 2016, I would think, okay, good, he's done. People are not going to, this is not a serious man. We're not going to take this as a serious man. When he picked on the reporter, when he was saying things like beat people up and then they'll pay your legal fees and take them out on a stretcher and just all these things. I'm just like, okay, people are we're waking up now.
Yeah.
And the sick part is our country decided to say, that's our guy. So right then and there, I knew we were in big trouble. When his numbers grew, the more hateful he got, the more his numbers grew. And that this is the country that we are now living in. It's filled with hate. You guys were there.
Yeah.
You
W.
racist
Tara.
bigots. Oh, thank you, W. Tara. They've been here. But honestly, I just didn't know there was that many of them.
I didn't either. Because I really do think that Obama's presidency, it made us to a certain degree get a little too comfortable, and we thought we had made a lot of progress. But underneath all of that was what we're dealing with now. A lot of hatred for America, a lot of racism, a lot of misogyny. And now what's worse than that, and I'd have to say this Epstein situation, I never thought in a million years we would be living in a country where the sitting president, every type of evil and corruption possible, this man has a soundbite to go along with it. Isn't that crazy?
It is absolutely nuts when you have to explain to your teenager that's poor behavior. That's like about the president. Don't listen to that. This is and they already know. What in the heck is he saying now, Mom? What is he saying? I'm like, guys, this is not what we grew up in. You may have different, disagreements on policy and ideology and things like that.
Yeah.
But this hate wasn't there. I'm going to say one last thing and I'm going to go.
No, you're good.
You brought it up, but I just got to reiterate how much I loved Gavin Newsom yesterday. He went scorched earth, and we need that. We need the fire from all of them. Bring it, all of you.
Yep.
I want to see all of you with that energy that Gavin Newsom had yesterday. I'm not saying I wasn't a fan of him. I'm just like all the way out here in Maine, not really paying no offense, not paying too much.
But he's not playing it safe anymore. He's not playing it safe anymore. He's understanding what the situation requires. And it's not just him that needs to do it. Like you said, all of us need to be doing it.
Remember the days when I used to say the gloves were off?
Yeah.
And then I kind of was like, well, I'm going to try to talk to these guys. I just, maybe that's not the right approach, Angela.
Right.
Maybe we should. No, the gloves are back off, guys. They're off. They're staying off. I'm not playing nice anymore. And I really don't think any of us should, although I'm so proud of so many of you coming out of your shells and not being nice anymore. We really that's the only way we can fight them. Really.
Thank you.
And who wants to be that way? I know none of us want to be this way. We don't have hate in our heart. But we have to fight for this country. If we're not we're fighting a whole different breed, I will call them. Okay.
Thank you.
So
Yep.
on that note, thanks for listening to me, Zeus, and
Thank
happy
you.
Friday, and thanks for all the gifts, Kingdom.
Wow.
Talk
Wow.
to y'all
W to
soon.
the kingdom. All right. Let's see. All right. Thank you. And W and no lies detected. Yeah. Yeah. And this is what it's going to take. Shows like this, ladies and gentlemen, to save this great country of ours. And again, where are the conservative women? W. Rick, are there any conservative women that want to come up here real quick and try to help fill in some of these gaps that we're struggling to get clarity on? All right. The question really is, why do you keep covering for Donald Trump when you see what he's done? Right? Is it acceptable for somebody who says that they've been SA'd, right? Because this is what when they don't like to talk about the Epstein, and when I talk to them, they bring that out, and then I'm done with the conversation. But should you be able to say that you've been, SA'd, and then at the same time defend Donald Trump, Jeffrey E., Ghislaine Maxwell, and Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, all of these people, J.D. Vance? Is that is that acceptable? Honestly. Because I don't know if it is. I'm sitting there going, okay, I want to be sensitive to this, but then I'm thrown off by that. So I'm trying to get clarity on this, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the word weird, it's weird. And as a guy, I got to check my ego. I got to check my misogyny and all that. And I'm going to be genuinely sincere with you. It's confusing. It's very confusing. So what I've done is I said, I'm not even going to entertain the ones that are playing it both ways. I'm going to stick to my morals. I'm going to stick to my values. And nope. Even if you do say something like, well, we got to wait until the evidence comes out before we can logically conclude, or you get up here and you say, I voted for Donald Trump and I can separate the sin from the sinner. All right. You say that stuff. I'm going to go, that's your thing. Do it. But I can't get down with that because I know that in the real world, there's going to be real consequences for behavior like that. And I would never even want to set an example for people who see me and know what I do to think that what I'm doing, if I were to do something like that, is acceptable. It's just disgusting. And I notice the MAGA women, they're here. I see them in here. I see them in here on their backup accounts. And I think from what I'm gathering, the fact that they don't want to come up here, they know. They know. And they're listening and hoping that someone in here through these conversations gives them enough strength to actually, if they're in a situation like that, get on out of here. Now look at who I get to talk to. My beautiful friend, the beautiful Shay. Welcome, Shay. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Zeus.
Right, Union Gang. I see you. Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
That's good. I can hear it in your voice, so that's awesome.
I'm doing great. God is good. Life is good. I'm grateful every day.
Likewise.
Absolutely, right? We got to give thanks for where it is, and knowing that there's so many people out there struggling, and it just breaks my heart, and it's just crazy. So I know, whether people think so or not, that I absolutely maintain my perspective no matter what. It is crazy. But did you read one of the Gavin Newsom's tweets? It's cracking me up.
I saw some of it. He's doing it and mocking Trump in the process. Right?
It's so good. I mean, this is exactly what we needed to do. I'm always going to vote on the left, but it just I get so frustrated, as so many of us do with our own party, is we always play so nice. Right? We're the intellectual ones. We're the educated ones. We're the ones that care about the people. We're the ones that want to take care of everybody. We're the true hearts, and we just want to, we just think people are going to wake up and say, no, they're not going to vote for this childish BS. They're not going to pick this narcissist and this clown.
Right.
Clearly they're not. No. And then he wins another election, maybe, quote unquote, votes, right?
Right.
But I'm just sitting here going, okay, Newsom, I am loving every minute of it, guys.
Thank you.
If you have not seen his tweets, they're in all caps, which I love, right?
Yep.
Playing right back at Trump. He talks about himself in third person, just like Trump does. He like Gavin Newsom, instead of how Trump does.
The most handsome. He says he's
Hi.
the most handsome. So I think Gavin's been listening to Big Zeus a little bit because he took that from me. I know he did. But he's basically, overindulging in himself and making it real clear to Donald Trump. Like, if you want to do that, I got way more to work with than you do, because we know Trump isn't in shape. He's walking around with things down his pants. I think it's a catheter from what I saw. He has the cursed hand and the swollen ankles. So
He does. And now the shoulder pad thing. Did you hear about the shoulder pads are coming out of his suit? And we know when he was what a quote unquote
a diaper
attempted. Yes, he's got the diaper. He actually has a guy that follows him around with a bag of diapers.
Oh, with baby powder and extra diapers and snacks and a pacifier and stuff. Wow, that's crazy.
If y'all look, it's out there. Like, there's a guy that literally follows him around. That's his job to change diapers.
Well, I got baby wipes in there and stuff too, huh? Little jars of baby food too, huh? Wow.
Absolutely.
Mix a little Diet Coke in there with the baby food. Wow, that's so cute. That's so cute.
You gotta have some Diet Coke in his bottle. That's for sure. But here he is in Anchorage. It's going to be interesting to see. He called out Norway and wanting to get the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, really?
He literally called him up, like, what are we going to do here? Like, can I? And they're like, I hate to tell you, but you're not on the list this time. Like,
wow. Thank you, Norway. Thank you.
Norway. I mean, he's so desperate for a Nobel Peace Prize only because Barack Obama got one. That's the only reason.
Wow.
He can't take it. And then he was talking about he has the greatest poll numbers ever of any Republican. Actually, no. You're sitting in the mid-40s, down into the high 30s, depending on which one is saying it.
Right.
Eisenhower was up in the 80s.
Wow.
Eisenhower.
Dwight D. Eisenhower. You don't say. So he's just telling people that believe him that his poll numbers are doing great, right?
Yeah, he's the highest of
Gregory, she doesn't have to prove it. Remember, your credibility is at 0. All right, Gregory? And so we don't got to really prove anything to you other than, showing up and doing what we do. Other than that, Gregory, zip it.
What do you want me to prove, Gregory? You can fact check me anytime.
Yeah.
I know you don't like hearing all this stuff. I get it. It hurts.
But they show up, Shay. They show up religiously to hear you talk. This is the craziest thing, right?
Yeah.
Whatever's happening in their world has to be so miserable that when they show up here, we hand them the kibble. We leave it out in the bowl for them. They sneak up and they eat that kibble and say, "Thank you so much for that kibble, but I still hate you." It is the most bizarre thing. That's how they act.
Look, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom is always here. Conservative D is always here. And it just, and MAGA Queen and all of them, they're just in here and they just want to run their mouths, and I guess they have nothing better to do. I guess they don't have jobs. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
But y'all read the tweets by Gavin Newsom. It will make your day. It will make your day. That he is playing into the hands of this narcissist. He's calling it. And the thing is, of these AI photos of Gavin, they're not far off by how he looks. That's what's so great about it.
Right?
He's real. I'm just loving. I'm like, dang, he really
they say,
looks like that
he's easy on the eyes. Is what I've heard a lot of ladies saying. He's really easy on the eyes. He's well spoken. He's tall. He's classy.
Body. Yeah.
So I shouldn't say that because in the kingdom there's really only one person we should talk about in that way, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I get it. You got to be able to share the light.
California must be in the air.
Yeah, it's the air. It's totally
right.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious how MAGA is going to defend the rising inflation. It's now at 3.3%. When Biden left, it was 2.4. I'm just curious how Trumponomics is working for you guys. I'm just wondering.
Shay, it's not working.
It's not working. It's going to get worse as the tariffs really kick in.
Across the board, Shay, I noticed they're totally exhausted now, MAGA.
Yeah,
when it comes to arguing, they have nothing to hang their hat on and say Trump is doing a good job at. That's why they're so quiet right now.
Yeah. I mean, 100,000 jobs in 3 months. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, so you fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics woman, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're not going to still know the numbers.
Yeah.
And we're not going to still report the numbers. Like, good luck. I mean, this is the thing, guys. And I don't know when you're going to wake up and say, is that acceptable? If Biden had bad reports and he fired somebody and hired in a guy out of, Project.
No, Kimmy, you're wrong, Kimmy. You're wrong. You're wrong, Kimmy. Stop. Again, that's fake news. Remember, the numbers you get from the administration directly, they can't be trusted. Go look at your grocery prices, Kimmy, and then you come back and tell us what's really going on, all right? Don't you hate it? Don't you hate it, Shay?
To report you? I think she's in here reporting you.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's
her
her thing.
She wants to come and I guess she's in here now. Interesting, Kimmy. Yeah. You heard what she said. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm glad how's it going? You're not working off your main account. She said that in the chat.
And Vegas girl and her said it. They do this together, and none of us. I decided it's better that they just get. It's better that they just be exposed for being what they are, some very terrible people. Because I don't have anything else left at this point. I mean, that's why I say you must be miserable. You're not living in the golden age. I want her to hear me when I say this. You must be living in the You're clearly not living in the golden age. And Shay's right. Your gas prices are up. Your utility bills are up. This is why you're angry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they're angry, right? Have you ever seen these people happy?
No, unless they're mocking somebody. They sit in their chat rooms just mocking and mocking and mocking. They get such a kick out of it.
Look at everybody says no. We've never seen MAGA happy, and it's because y'all living in hell. We see it.
Yeah, we do. Oh yeah, I think Kimmy's got a thing for Q dogs. Pretty funny.
Oh my God! Well, listen up, Shay.
If you hate us so much, why do you try to follow us?
Yeah.
She was following Q Dog. It's hilarious.
She wants some. I know that too, but we're not going to give her any. She's going to have to lay there and burn like the rest of them.
Yeah, exactly. I just laugh at these people. Oh my God! But anyway, I am happy about what Gavin Newsom's doing. We all need to follow suit. All of our leaders, all of our governors, everybody needs to be doing what Gavin Newsom's doing. I'm glad he's lighting the fire. I'm glad he's standing up. I'm glad he's calling it out. I'm glad he's saying what it is. And I mean, for the fact that he sent ICE agents to his press conference.
Yeah.
That's not fascism. Explain that to me. I would love for anybody to get up in your box today and explain to me why that was okay.
Yeah.
For the President of the United States to send ICE agents to a governor. I'm sorry. We're doing covering the Constitution at 5 p.m. Central Time on Sundays, guys. In the Constitution, there are such things as states' rights.
Yeah.
Number 10, baby. And you've got to understand that states are separate and they are autonomous. And that is what you need to understand. So when the President of the United States sends in National Guards, even though the governor said no, sends ICE agents to his press conferences, like he doesn't have a right to do what he wants to do. Absolutely absurd, and shame on any Republican leaders not calling this out.
Exactly.
Because that's how Schmittler came to power. They laid down at their feet, and that's how he got to do what he did, because they didn't want to speak up. And first they came for who, right? So just remember that. If you're not going to speak out, watch out. So let's go. Everybody needs to be doing what Gavin's doing.
Exactly.
Whether all his policies or none of that matters. None of that matters.
I'll argue about policy later. We'll argue about policy later, but what we got to do is stop this administration in its tracks right now. And when we get done over here in California in this November, it's a done deal for MAGA. And I'm not going to even shed a tear. I'm not going to shed a tear.
And that's exactly, I'll end with this, my friend. I live in the state of Texas, right?
Yeah.
So even Roe v. Wade or any of the 6-week heartbeat bill, none of that stuff was put on the ballot. None of us got to vote on any of this authoritarianism that's going on. So notice what Gavin's doing. He's not just redrawing the maps. He is putting it to the state of California for them to vote on these maps. That's exactly what he should be doing. He's telling Californians, you vote on this. You want us to do this? Let's do it. And that's how this should be done. You don't just go and take all our votes away because you have a narcissist, fascist butthead in the office saying, I need 5 seats. I'm so glad these blue governors are standing up and saying we can play the same game and you won't ever have, dominance in the House again. Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you.
go,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, love you guys. Thank you.
All right, love you too. W. Shay. Wow, all right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is a show of force. What we have is we just have what I loved about my platform and this platform is we really get to have real rich conversations where we can actually get inside of the mind of folks and really find out what's really going on. Because, we don't get to do that when you're just arguing facts, right? I want to get into some of the beliefs behind the person, right? And that's why I do what I do. So with that being said, do we have any other Trump voters out there that are feeling like what they've been hearing this morning is starting to hit close to home? And you're saying to yourself, you know what? Zeus, you're right. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. MAGA queen. Oh, God. Now, who let the dogs out? Roo, roo. I just thought of that. MAGA queen. MAGA queen. What? I mean, you come in every day and it's like you spent all 24 hours since you last saw me. You spent the whole time just to come up with that ridiculous nonsense that you had the previous day. Don't you understand? You're just wasting your time. Do y'all understand that it's not looking real good? She has the fever, Ange. Oh my God. Listen, if you're a Trump supporter, I'm talking MAGA Queen. Can we have a serious conversation, MAGA Queen? Come on up here. I want to ask you some questions. I want to know why you're defending Donald Trump and his Jeffrey Epstein stuff. All right? I mean, you don't got to show us your utility bills and your credit card bills. I get it. It's nasty. But why are you defending Donald Trump still when you know he ain't doing right, MAGA Queen? MAGA Queen, are you there? Because I know that you're probably fighting some sort of personal battle right now. You're looking at Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, and he's really not pleasant to look at, and that's stressing you out. The bills are piling up, and it's just so much happening. But there is a path forward, and all you have to do is be honest, all right? Why are you supporting this man when you know that he's not releasing those files? MAGA Queen. MAGA Queen, if you don't mind. Did I hurt my widow feelings? Yeah, come on up here. I'll give you an opportunity. Come on, MAGA Queen. I'll let you hurt my feelings if you think that's what it is. But if that's what it takes for you to actually come out of this little rut that you've been finding yourself in, I don't know what's going on. But if that's what it takes, get it off your chest and explain to us why you're doing this, all right? She won't come up here? All right, MAGA Queen. Well, you know what I do when you don't do that, right? MAGA Queen, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, MAGA Queen, I gotta do it. Because we know you're an evil person. And I get joy out of doing this. I know what I do isn't going to stop you from being evil, MAGA Queen, but it'll make all of us feel good when I do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send disgusting, nasty MAGA Queen where she came from straight to hell!
Silence! You MAGA Damon!
Hey, MAGA Queen, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We know what it takes to get you. We just got to leave some kibble out and maybe a nice little treat, and you'll come get it. All right. Good morning, my brother Union Gang. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on with you?
Just checking in and making sure we doing the right thing to keep these demons suppressed, so to speak. You notice they're not arguing with us as much.
Yeah, well, it's been crazy anyway. I think that a lot of stuff, people are distracted from the files, of course.
Yeah.
What really happened, which is disturbing to me, is the martial law that I'm seeing play out inside of Washington, D.C. right now.
That is what I was hoping you could give us a nice little update. I've seen video footage of them just going into the neighborhoods and doing the most ungodly things to people for no reason. So do you have anything that you're willing to share with us, my brother?
I do. I was boots on the ground last night. We had got reports there was a large military presence in Union Station.
Okay.
So myself and Jolly Good Ginger, we shot down there, and sure enough, I got out and I seen up armored Humvees, military soldiers patrolling, members of all of the three-letter agencies patrolling the streets.
Wow.
MRAP vehicles, and MRAPs are like mine-resistant ambush protected vehicles. These vehicles are for war zones. They're for IED explosions, heavy machine gun fire, nothing that you would see on a normal street.
Right.
And it really was dystopian. I had to take a step back and like, this is really happening, man. It's really, it's really happening. It's like everything that we talked about is you seeing it rolled out. You see the soldiers there, and I'm just like, man, it's just, it was, you got ICE vehicles. Now, of course, we engaged with ICE vehicles. We had some choice words for them. I can't repeat them here.
Yeah.
But we let them know that we're not going to let these people get kidnapped without warning them. So we did what we could do. What I'm saying is right now we need to call to action for all veterans. If you're in the DMV, we need you to stand up. We need you to get down there this weekend. I'm going back out there. We'll get these people faces. We're going to shout them down. We're going to launch a campaign of maximum resistance what's happening in D.C. Understand, this is martial law. He's just not calling it martial law. Right? When you have curfews in effect, when you're targeting black kids from the streets, when you're snatching up Hispanic people, when you have people in military uniform patrolling the streets with combat vehicles, that is martial law, people.
There's a curfew? There's a curfew?
There's a curfew. There's a curfew for 18-year-olds. They cannot be out. I think it's like past 8 p.m. or past 10, and that goes. So this is absolutely martial law. And so, I even talked to active duty soldiers. Active duty soldier had joined me from a protest. I didn't know he was, but he relayed that he was, and he was like, "What should I do?" I'm like, "Listen, you can't do anything, man. You can't hold a sign. You can't, because people don't understand that. People. The main question I got from last night is, why don't the soldiers disobey? Because that's the one place they can't do.
Yeah.
Anybody wearing this uniform has less rights than we do. They don't have the right to free speech. They don't have the right to protest. If they say anything against them, they got to be willing to go to prison. They got to be willing to lose their rank. They got to be willing to have their career destroyed, even if the orders are illegal.
That's
now,
crazy.
It depends on, and now they give you something like, hey, shoot protesters in the leg. That may cause a mutiny in the ranks, because people who do realize the risks are now going to be all in.
Yeah.
But right now, I think that a lot of people are just not understanding how much danger they're in right now. That these soldiers, most likely, they're going to follow the orders they're given. Just like ICE is following these orders, just like the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court couldn't follow the Constitution, if Congress couldn't follow the Constitution, if the President of the United States could not follow the Constitution, why on earth do you think a damn private or a specialist is going to look down, face down the Uniform Code of Military Justice, disobey orders from a general officer, put their life and their freedom on the line to uphold something that none of these other politicians with more power than him would do? And so I just think that if we're going to make change, it's up to the veterans.
Yeah.
Those of us who are free of that don't have that, they're not locked into the military, that can't be punished in that way anymore, we have to get out here and light the fires. We have to get out here in these streets, and we have to overwhelm them in the streets. And that's why I'm calling for a call to action. Anybody, if you ever care about our Constitution, if you ever put that uniform on, and you're in the vicinity of the DMV, I need you to get down there. We're going to be out there raising hell this weekend. We'll be in their faces. We'll be giving them a campaign of maximum resistance. And this is something that we absolutely have to do, because it's being dismantled. Our democracy is being dismantled in 4K.
Wow. Well, listen, they can follow you to get more details too.
Yeah, you can follow me on
Isn't it,
guys? And my IG is up right now. That's the only place I haven't been banned at. So if you want to get the full story, you can get it there. If you jump in our Discord or our Signal chat, we give updates of where we're going. We're going to be located at, and we're also getting information in real time where ISIS staging that. We're going to try to. I really want to get to because people are like, why did you walk these streets of DC at night? Of course I do.
Yeah.
DC is just like any other city. If you're from there, you got nothing to fear.
Right.
I've interviewed people. Jolly interviewed people who school teachers who talked about how we're just being misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's worse than that. Like I told them, this is by design.
Yeah.
These demons want to replace crime and make you think it's black people. Right? How can a man say he for law and order and he got 34 felonies? How can he be for law and order and he pardoned 1,600 hardened criminals that were facing decades in prison for some of the most egregious crimes in America. Seditious conspiracy is one of the most hard crimes to prove, and it's just like treason. It's basically the domestic version of treason, of high treason against the country.
Yeah.
And he pardoned those people. So I don't want to hear anything about law and order from these gangsters in the White House. They're
Call them
criminals,
gangsters.
and people who out here following those orders are also following illegal orders. And that's why it's for us, because if anybody should rebelling, the generals should be rebelling against this. They got the power to protect their soldiers. I'm disappointed I don't see any flag officers out here in the streets or retired people. Where the hell are the retired generals at? It can't just be the NCO Corps that see what's happening here. So we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, they're not going to take DC without a fight. He's talking about having long-term control. Man, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. We're going to be in these streets.
Yeah.
And we're going to give them a run for their money. And that's our goal. No matter what happens, we're going to be in these streets with this campaign of maximum resistance.
And you're talking about doing it.
If you can't be there.
You're talking about doing it peacefully and patriotically, correct?
Of course. Listen, if there's any violence breaks out, they have to do it. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because if you do, first of all, you can't have any weapons in D.C. So if they catch you with weapons, you're already looking at decades in prison. Yeah. So you have to, those of us who are on the right side of history and lawful citizens, this is our right. We have a right to protest. We have a right. I have a right to grab this megaphone and I can tell you exactly what I think of you. I can speak the truth to power. I can get in there and we can disrupt these guys. We can sit back and shine a light and expose the people who are kidnapping people under the cover of darkness. Right? Why would you be out here snatching people up in the middle of the night if it was legal? Why would you have masks on your face?
Yeah.
If it was legal.
Can I ask you a question about the mask? Can I ask you a question about the mask? Because what I love what you're doing, you pointed out their hypocrisy, right? You said, how can we have somebody being tough on crime when they themselves are a criminal, right? That's the hypocrisy of this. The thing with the mask, were these people that, during C-19, don't you recall these people saying things like they can't breathe when they wear the mask?
Yes.
And now you're telling me they're wearing it?
Go down to the governor's mansion and protest with weapons because they couldn't wear masks. And they didn't want to do they couldn't do the basic thing to protect their fellow human beings.
So how is it they can breathe now? I'm just curious. Is it like when
hypocrisy?
Oh, it's like when it's time to do evil, they get an extra kick in their jeans or something, and now they can breathe through a mask. I don't know how it works, but
maybe towards Jesus, he passed a royal edict saying, now you can breathe with a mask. So like, Daddy said I can breathe in mask again, so let's wear them.
That's just, to me, it's the most bizarre thing. I mean, they open, they go, oh, we got to wear the mask. And why do they say they wear the mask?
Oh, speaking of them, I do have a flag they're really triggered about right now. And I'll just give you a quick, take a quick shot of it, and that's it. Oh. That's the flag they're really upset about. So maybe they can't see it. Hold on. Let me back up a bit. You get it now?
Yes, sir.
There you go, Mother. Hey, and that's how I'm going to be down there. That's how I'm going to be down here and let them know.
Yeah.
Because this is our First Amendment right. This is our First Amendment right to be out here in these streets and let them know that Trump does not represent us. He does not represent the best of America. He represents the worst of America. And those of us who wore the uniform, our oath is still active.
Yep.
To defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And right now, everything that we ever stood for is being dismantled in 4K. And we have to rally to do what we can to slow this process down.
Amen. Well, listen, W Union Gang, bro. You got my support. I appreciate you coming over and spreading the truth like you always do, my brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
And a quick note, Don Lemon is also doing like a nationwide tour. I was able to go hang out with him. Hewley and Godfrey. It was really cool. It was an amazing event. So they're going on a nationwide tour, talking to people, talking to audiences about what's happening in the world. And really shining a light on these type of things and really leaning down on other content creators. And like I said, he brought Jolly up as a special guest, so it was really powerful because, we can't trust a lot of the mainstream media anymore.
We sure can't.
And so we really need people who used to be in that area who's going to stay on the right side of history, like Don Lemon like Joy Reid, people out there. I love what they're doing, and I just want to give them a quick plug on that.
All right. Well, listen. Shout out to Don Lemon and Joy Reid. All right, brother.
Power to the people, baby.
All right, you too. Thank you. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Oh my God, W Union gang. You see, that's somebody that loves their country. We're doing a number on these Trump supporters this morning, and this is what I like: authentic conversations with everyday Americans. And yes, we're not going to surrender this great country of ours to Donald Trump and his supporters under no circumstances. All right. So, do we have anyone else out there that supports Donald Trump that wants to come up here and try to defend Donald Trump? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. I'll see if I can get you up here. All right, because you can see right now where the energy is at, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to sit back here and just allow you to terrorize everyday Americans. And I do hope, honestly, if you weren't paying attention before this all went down, I hope you're paying attention now and you really now understand how important it is to get out there and vote. Because now you see what's really at stake, all right? These folks don't want to allow you to do what you do, all right? They want to come and terrorize you, all right? If you don't believe me, go watch the video footage and look at what they're doing out there in D.C. All right, let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got next? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. Good morning, Takesha. Good morning, Takesha. How are you?
Hey, Zeus, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. You?
I'm good. I just got a couple of things I want to talk about right quick.
Let's go ahead.
First of all, I want to talk about the tightly pulled mannequin that's in the position of first lady when she really the third lady. But we ain't going to talk about her being
just
the third
getting
lady.
getting straight down to it. Okay.
Yeah, the third lady that's in the first lady position.
Yeah.
I think they keep forgetting that Hunter Biden, although he was an addict, is a lawyer. He knows what he can and cannot say legally.
Right.
So all Hunter doing is pulling y'all out so we can get the information on what happened that y'all won't give us in them files. So she needs to drop that lawsuit because she gonna lose dearly.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. She ain't finna go through with it. She taco number 2. Now listen.
Yeah.
I bet you this morning Donald Trump probably got up. Well, he probably didn't sleep last night. He probably put on a brand new suit, got his new lifts in his shoes, put a little Johnson & Johnson powder in his diaper, put on that Funk Be Gone cologne, got some extra spray tan on his face, and lifted his hair a little higher with that White Rain hairspray.
He did all that?
Listen, hands was probably sweaty doing the plane ride, and all he could see was him Pepe Le Pew and Putin. He probably got off the plane and wanted to hug him so bad that he just got moist.
You can't make me go there. That's spicy talk right there.
He probably was so excited when he saw Putin. I'm willing to bet you that he got stars in his eyes and love in his heart when he got off that plane, Zeus.
That's sad. That's sad, Takesha. But I hate to say
he
it.
going to see the love of his life. Can you see him, Zeus? Can you imagine him being Pepe Le Pew and Putin being the one?
But what about but you know why it's sick? It's a little disturbing because he has those catheters and the swollen ankles. And the cursed hand.
Zeus, he put an ice pack on his ankles and a little Bengay. He wanted to be perfect for the man that he loves. So
that's disgusting. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Zeus. You can see it.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, but Zeus, that was the news of the day from Takesha.
Okay.
But I want to also say that Gavin Newsom is finer than the most expensive cat hair. But what make him awesome and finer is his pettiness that he's been doing. Thank you for giving your attention to this matter. Gavin's so messy, Zeus, but I love it.
Yeah. Now,
this is what I really need to talk about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because I think people know Takesha, but I don't think people know Kiki. I had made a video a couple of weeks ago trying to encourage people that that believe in God, that he will make a way out of no way.
Yeah.
And I said I had 7 bills due, and I ain't had no money, and I was going, the Lord was going to pay them.
Yeah.
So I came back and made an updated video to let everybody know he had paid 5 of them 7 bills.
Wow.
I'm just trying to let them know, the Lord will make a way when you give it to him.
Yeah.
Somebody came on my video that didn't have a face, that didn't have a profile. I figured it was somebody, that, be coming in, this show.
One of the
Talking
bears.
at me and went and made a fake page.
Yeah.
And they said, so basically what she's saying is she wants y'all to pay her bill. Let me say this, Zeus.
Go ahead.
I've never been the type of person that when push come to shove is afraid to ask for help.
Bingo.
I've never been the type of person that can't text or call any of my friends and say, hey, I'm in a need when I need some help.
Bingo.
I ain't too proud to beg. You
Amen.
got the wrong person when you think Kiki is ashamed to ask for anybody to hit their cash out, whether they do it or not.
Right.
You barked up the wrong tree.
Tell them.
The reason I get seed sown into me is because before the Lord let me become disabled, when I had it, everybody had it. I've given away whole rooms of furniture. I gave away a whole car. The man was coming to buy it. God said, give it to him. And I gave it to him and then charge him 1 dime.
Wow.
I've given away shoes, clothes, authentic pocketbooks. I used to do hair, Zeus. If somebody didn't have it, I still let them sit in my chair and then charge them 1 dime.
Yeah.
So the seeds that I have sown, the Lord is letting me reap the harvest.
Amen.
that I have
Amen. And you got the spirit right, because it's better to give than it is to receive in a lot of different ways.
It's better to give than to. Hold on.
Yeah.
Zeus. Even though you ain't sent me no allowance this month. But I'm just saying, Zeus, my thing is this. Don't ever come for me like that. Because I'm going to ask for exactly what I need to make sure I have what I need. So to the person that hid behind that fake page.
Yeah.
Come to me like a woman or a man when you got something to say to me. Other than that, if you can't reveal yourself, don't thrill yourself in thinking you're doing anything to hurt me.
I'm starting to think it was Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom that said that.
Dude,
now,
I don't care who it was. All I'm saying is if you got something to say to Kiki, come correct. I'm right here listening.
Yeah. Then there you go. WW Takesha, W Kiki, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. You hear that? Go straight to the plug, all right, champ? You don't got to do all that backdoor action, all right? Go straight there.
And that's all I had to say today, Zeus.
All right.
Now, people keep playing with me, Zeus, but my name ain't Mattel, and I don't sit on the shelf of now Toys R Us.
Amen. Amen. All right, W Takesha, hit him with it. There's no lie. All right, thank you, sis. I appreciate it. All right. Wow. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You see, we straighten it out. We get it straight over here. W Zeus, W to the kingdom. Thank you, everyone. Oh, my goodness. I haven't gotten to talk to this guy in a long time. Good morning, Brother Attacking. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. You woke up on time today, huh? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, my body clock screwed up.
Fair enough.
It's bad. But anyway, you know how over the years when racism is talked about?
Yeah. What do you mean, though?
And well, hold on. And white people mainly say if we stop talking about racism, it'll go away.
Oh, I've heard that before. Yeah, I've heard about it.
Well, when you and Shay were talking, do you know that a certain group of people said that, and the one person, Vegas girl, said the thing is this: why do the people on the left, the Democrats, you and me, and so on and so forth, keep talking about PD deal?
Yeah, really.
And she said the reason being is because we are closeted P.DDDOs.
Vegas girl said that?
Yeah. And they all agreed. The women in there agreed. And that's all we have. See, they don't want to talk about it. Kind of like when they said, get over January 6th. Quit talking about it. Quit talking about it.
Wow.
All right?
Yeah.
And the 2020 election, how they always brought it up, and now we're talking about it. We try master proof. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now, because they don't want to hold Donald Trump accountable for what's going on or even associate with him, they don't talk about it. And any Democrat who brings it up, you're a closeted P.do. And these so-called, Christians that we know who are fake Christians.
Yeah.
Right. Who say that they support women and children and they've worked in trying to put people in jail for this. Well, no. See, the thing is this. We want to talk about it because we want to hold people accountable. The people who hide and don't want to talk about it don't want to hold people accountable. Because if you hold people accountable, that means you have to hold Trump accountable.
Yep.
You don't want to talk about January 6th because you don't want to hold Trump accountable.
Bingo.
Okay, all of these things that are happening, you want to ignore. Because you can't argue the fact and say that you're a Christian or ethical or moral or have values when you don't want to talk about the issues that are being discussed and causing issues with families and people and race and groups and so on and so forth. You guys don't want to talk about it because you don't want to own up to it. You don't want to own up to it. Because, see, when a certain person, a Christian, yells at somebody and says, unless Trump was put in jail for being a P.do, he didn't do anything. But yet the same person who said that statement says that Joe Biden sniffs and licks children.
Wow. That's disgusting. Evil. Vile. Taking it completely out of context, and they're willing to do that with little evidence. But when you get a whole bunch of evidence, they don't have the ability to do the same thing. It's the hypocrisy.
Exactly. And do you know that I made an AI picture of somebody licking a child? Well, if they can say Joe Biden is doing it, you have a fake picture. Why are you upset if I take a fake picture that you have? Just like my face right there. If somebody made me doing something, that's a fake picture. That's not me. If you have my picture right there, my little icon.
Yeah.
If you have me doing something, it's not me. It's a fake picture. I'm not going to get upset. So when you have a fake picture and it's adapted, the fake picture of you doing something, and you get upset, you are mental. You are emotionally weak.
And they know it. They know that's what it is attacking.
Q Dog wants to come up.
Yeah, I see that, but I'm doing one at a time.
Okay, you can bring him up and drop me, man. He's more important than I am. Plus, he's
fair
bigger.
enough. Fair enough.
Plus, he's bigger.
Fair enough. All right. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, W attacking. No lies detected. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. I don't see you, Q Dog. Where'd you go? I don't see you. Do I see you? Where I see you? Hold on. I don't see him. Hold on. I don't see. Where did he go? Hold on. I got to go back to the comment. There you go. I think I can't send you an invite, bro. Did you get reported? You must have got reported or something. Could you send me a request? I can't see you in the queue. Yeah, I don't see you in the queue, bro. I hope you ain't getting in trouble. I hope you didn't get in trouble. Are you in the queue? I don't see it. Are you seeing him? Is he in the queue? Mods, do you see him? I can't see him. He put a what? He put no. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he may have gotten in trouble or something, bro. All right. Let's go on. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning, Madam University. He's in the chat. I can see him, but I couldn't see him in the queue. I can't send him a direct invite. Okay, now I can do it. All right, Madam University. I tried to bring you up, but I can't.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, I can't send you an invite. Yeah, welcome. Do you have it turned off?
No, I don't. You know, TikTok sometimes. I went all the way back out and then came back in.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, then WQ dog. That's what it was. because now I can see you. All right, but what do you got for us this morning? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, brother. Happy Friday, and you and moms.
Yes,
I want to bring to the attention all these MAGA and blagger folks and racist folks that want to cry on the black side. Oh, they're being racist. They're being this and that. They're being hateful.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back in time when the word racism was initially created. When it was initially created for the transatlantic slave trade. It was basically created by Europeans and American white tea folks to justify slavery. So you explain to me how you want to come up and say, the black people, they're being racist against us. You hear all these white tea folks out here that are Trump supporters and whatnot. They're being racist to us. Help me explain that.
Yeah. How would they know?
When was any of your ancestors put in chains or put on?
Yeah, show us a photo. Show us a photo of what it looked like. Put it that way. Blagger 2, MAGA 2. If that's what you're subscribing to, because I don't like what they do. You know, when they start talking about policies, the policy, it's reverse racism. No, we can't see photos of that. Show us the concrete stuff.
They don't want to show us that. Show us one picture of one of your ancestors that was put on an auction block. See, it hits very close to home because my 5-time great grandfather was sold off to another plantation.
Yeah. You know, they got this new lie going on. Only 1% of white people own slaves. Have you seen this thing going on right now?
I saw that mess. It's ridiculous, bro, because the thing of the matter is, you could talk about it and you could see actual pictures of what possibly would happen, but you have no idea and no clue what slaves went through on a day-to-day basis with these nasty, narcissistic, just sick in the head slavers.
Yeah.
But y'all want to keep talking about, oh, he's being racist to us. No, know the meaning of where it came from before you even start to part your lips to say somebody's racist.
Yeah, no, and he's right. And I want to make sure we clear this up about the 1%. That's the entire, they say it's the entire.
Tiny Tank Top Tim, sit your fat behind down. You change the name. You change the name every other day. We named you Tiny Tank Top Tim. Now, yesterday you were Majesty. Now today you're Tiny Tank Top. You are confused in your own world.
Well, you can't tell Q to shut up. Come on now, wake up. Do you understand? You're totally mismatched, bro.
Dudes, I'm not worried about it. If he ain't got the sack below to say it to me, man to man, face to face, he can say it all day long on this channel. It don't bother me. Everybody in this chat. Matter of fact,
he just got muted.
Tim, you know, you tell me to shut up, but you asking to follow me. Because I put you on blast, you and Mr. Snuggles. On my page, everybody that follows me saw you and Snuggles at the same time trying to follow me. But you want to follow, but you want to tell me to shut up.
The birds of a feather flock together. That's the craziest thing.
Help me understand. You hate me and love me at the same time. Help me understand that.
Yeah. It's sick. It's sick.
Everybody knows. Zeus knows. Shay knows because I did a screenshot and showed it to him. Why are you trying to follow me if you hate me so much?
Yeah.
I don't try to follow you or your peoples that work in the dungeon. If you still work.
Dungeon. Wow.
You live in a dungeon. I really think he sleeps in that office. Really, Zeus. If he still got that place.
I don't think he has a job anymore, to be honest. I don't think he has a job anymore.
Eagle, they all in the chat. Y'all really, I get it. I see what it is. It's the audacity that you don't get the experience to be Q Dog. You don't get the experience of the attention that I get.
Is that it, Alter Ego?
They thrive for attention every day. Every day. That's the reason why they're in here. But they can't come up. At least Tiny Take Talk Tim can come up. Alter Ego. So just sit down. Until you're able to come up, stay in your lane.
So you want the Q Dog experience? That's something I've never thought of, but that could be an angle. So I mean, anything's possible out here. You know,
Oh,
I'm not running a love TikTok show. All right,
exactly.
so
And
I'm gonna.
I'm not
Yeah.
looking for it. I'm not looking
Okay.
for it, bro.
All right. Thank you, WQ Dog. All right, because we're not.
That's good.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people do things to get attention in the worst way, and so I'm familiar with that, and I would imagine you are too, bro. And that's why when they do what they try to do, they're trying to stand out and make it look like, you know, they're the hottest thing on the market, but they're not. They're not. It's like when we dove in, like you said, Tank Top 10, we see him where he works at. That's nothing that I want to be a part of.
No, I'd say every last one of them that talk crap about me, you, Shay, and Nutty, whatnot. Every last one of them been in my DM trying to follow me, trying to request. See, that's one of the reasons why I went private on my page, so I could see who's trying to follow me. See, when you're public like yours, they just pop in and they show up with 25 pages, 30 pages every time they get shut down. Like Snuggles, I'm still trying to fathom what grown man would call himself Snuggles. I still can't. I can't wrap that around my head.
Someone that's barely able to pay his rent because they have to live in the basement with their grandmother, and that's what they call them. That's what they call them. They call them Snuggles, right? And so that's something that he stuck with, and it's really a term of endearment. But he should understand that's between you and your grandmother. You don't take that stuff out here on the internet, champ. All right, because it says a lot about you. It says a lot about you in ways you just didn't understand. And we'll take care of that, Q Dog.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sitting in their grandmama basement in their tighty whiteys, you know, looking at their phone all morning long.
Yeah.
So we just gonna leave it at that. You know, they want our lifestyle. They want the attention we get on a day-to-day basis because we're telling them exactly what this man is doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
To the point where his brain is not functioning with what comes out of his mouth. It's like in two separate stratospheres.
Yeah.
And when you follow people like that, you tend to have those same tendencies. And they know it. They
Hit
know
them with
it.
it.
That's the reason why they come up every day.
Yeah.
To try to get a little piece of something to try to separate themselves from the BS that they look at every day, all day on Fox News.
Amen.
Melania, come on, really, Melania, really? I mean, the one thing that you want to go back on Hunter Biden on, that's a losing battle, lady. Just stop it. Just stay in your quiet corner in the White House that black folks built for you to stay in temporarily.
Yeah.
And don't say nothing, because what you're going to do is you're going to open up a can of worms that Trump is not going to be able to close, and nobody in his administration. So just stay in your little corner over there and try to stay away from ICE. You do that.
Or be there.
As soon as it pops open, I'm telling you, Zeus, if she pops this open, and he's gonna blame her, and he gonna deport her. Watch what I tell you. So
He will. He's gonna have to deport his wife at a certain point. But listen, bro, I gotta move it along, all right? But listen, as always, keep up the great work, WQ Dog.
Bro, every day, bro. We got this hands down every day.
Amen. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. You see what it is? It's a show of force, no lies detected. All right, who do we got next? Good morning, Gloria. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. I brought him up for what? Good morning, Gloria. Going once. Maybe it was an accident. Going twice. Sold. Goodbye, Gloria. You could send another guest request. All right, really send another guest request if you got something to say. Who do we got? The Monster. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
And
yes.
Thanks for having me. Let
Yes.
me start off by saying, man, I really appreciate what you're doing up here, Zeus. And
Thank you.
definitely on the money, man. And you know, I understand you hip hop stuff too, so we got to connect so I
Okay.
can hear some music. But
Okay.
I
Fair
want to
enough.
say this, man. I want to keep it real short.
All right. Appreciate that.
You know what reverse racism is?
Mm-hmm.
It's a
I know what it
pathetic-
is.
It's a pathetic attempt by these people like these MAGA heads
Mm-hmm.
that they're victimized by problems they have created. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
Right.
they created the problems, and now they're crying about it.
Right, right. And I'm gonna say this too because I was listening to the gentleman earlier who said that, they like to call, us Democrat supporters, independents, whoever didn't vote for Trump.
Yeah,
They like to call us undercover Chesters.
yeah.
No. The Chesters are the ones protecting the big Chester. No.
That's
So
a good.
we're gonna keep it clean on that.
Yeah. And we know who's doing that. It starts with his supporters on this app, all the way up to Pam Bondi.
Right, exactly. So I just wanted to say that, man, and thank you for having me, man. And
All right.
I'll hit you with a DM, man, and let's connect.
All right, the monster. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. No lies detected. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, what a show! Good morning, Val. How are you doing, brother Val?
Doing good, buddy. Doing good.
All right.
Got something for you here, real quick. Hold on.
Your haters are here. That you have haters here every day.
I know. It's all good. It's all good. $1 billion. And you even brought up Dr. Evil. I mean, what are we talking about today? I mean, what is going on?
W Val, ladies and gentlemen. I like how you did that.
What are these people talking about today? What do we have an issue with comprehension today? Is this what we're talking about? This might be their worst play yet. Let's distract from the e-files by suing over the e-files.
Think about that, right? Because they don't seem to understand. It's like no one is telling them that this thing could all go away if they would just release it. Everything else is only going to make it worse.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the whole talk and what they do on these files and how they try to ignore them after what they're seeing coming up and after what they're fighting for, right?
Yeah.
And U.S. Army and QDOG, talked about this a little bit. What we're talking about with what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. This is the plan for the United States, people. This is what you're not seeing. And this is what we keep telling you. If you break the Constitution for one, you break it for all. It's not a, well, it applies to this person, but it doesn't apply to that person. That's not how the Constitution works.
Right.
And Shay brought it up earlier. We talk about this on Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Time. If you want to learn about the Constitution, come to that show.
Wow.
Okay? In that show, it's two constitutional, a constitutional professor, a constitutional scholar, and a historian.
Yeah.
It's if you want to actually learn. But if you want to continue to try to use talking points to subvert what's going on in the nation today, I can't help you. And then, I want to talk a little bit about the savior complex. We all know about it, right? You know what I'm saying?
The white savior thing they like to bring up. Complex. Yeah. I've heard that before.
Okay. Well, we have a woman savior complex too. Okay. I want people to understand there's some women we can't help. Anybody want to help Elaine Maxwell? Anybody want to help Maxwell?
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? There are some women we can't help. Anybody want to help Micah Queen? Nah, not really. Anybody want to help Janae and Stacy and all those people that come up here and spread that mess that actually does major harm to women?
Nope. Yeah. Look at the chat. Absolutely no. MAGA has a P3DO savior complex.
Yeah. There's a fact to that statement.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a fact to that statement. They have, you know what I'm saying? They have, I shouldn't forget Vegas Girl, right? Yeah, exactly. There's, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people we can't help. And, and hey, Vegas Girl's a perfect example. We can't save them.
Nope.
Okay, their mind
Kabira.
was made up. Yeah, their mind was made up before.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Before they talk to us.
Yeah.
You can't learn and listen if you can't open your mind, if you can't set down your pride, if you can't just understand basic conversation. I want to come up and debate. This ain't a debate. This is our nation.
Tell them, Val.
Quit thinking it's a debate. There is no debate to this. The Constitution is clear. The laws in this country are actually pretty clear.
Yeah.
What's happening right now in this country is crazy. And the fact that you continue to let a man lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, what kind of person lets a man lie to them over and over again? Let me make this clear. He's reaching 100,000 lies. 100,000.
Really?
Lies. In 4 years, 1 campaign, and 7 months in office. 100,000 lies to the American people.
Wow.
Guys, anybody that walks into the grocery store and thinks your grocery stores have gone down, you've lost your mind.
Yeah.
Anybody that drives up to the gas station and thinks your gas has gone down, you've lost your mind. There's nothing you can see. Anybody that can look at their neighbor that tells them, down the street or wherever they may be, hey man, I got laid off today, and then comes onto a panel like this and goes, well, no, layoffs ain't happening. You've lost your mind. Okay? We all see it.
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't understand, because it came up earlier, somebody wrote in the comments, MAGA, he's 90% of MAGA. 90% of MAGA approved to him. Well, you've lost your mind too. Okay? Because, the last report we saw on the economy, only 48% of Republicans agreed with what he was doing.
Wow.
That's Republicans. Take Democrats out of it. Okay?
Yeah.
These are the things that are going on. If you don't understand the approval rating, if you don't understand, hey, he's got 90% support. I'm the highest supported president ever. What? I'm the best president of all time. Not by any historian.
Where's he getting the metrics?
He throws a chart up there with no guidelines or doesn't tell you what it is, puts a nice pretty picture behind it and tells you the economy's good. And y'all friggin' fall for it.
Hook, line, and sinker.
It was
every time.
Yeah, it was Sharpiegate all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, who does these things? Who listens to this stuff? If you don't understand what the e-files mean, and this is the most disgusting one ever, because somebody wrote it in the comments earlier.
Yeah.
If you do not understand the harm that Epstein, Maxwell, and hold on, here you go, Trump, have done to children, you don't get it. If you don't understand it, you'll never get it. And I never thought I would see the day that Republicans sat in the House, sat on committees, and voted against children, voting against people harming children. Or I should say, voted for them.
Yeah.
They voted for people harming children. Now you've got Republicans in different states trying to lower the age of consent to 14 years old.
This is sick stuff. Sick.
We're going to lower the age to 14 years old. Well, there's only one reason you would do that. And that was because you want to lay with children. There you go. That's the reality of the world today that we're living in. Martial law, starting in Washington, D.C., in every large city in this country. Martial law. and people that want to lay with children, and y'all are okay with it.
This is what they voted for. This is what you voted for. And then they want to argue with us and say that we're ruining the country. No. It's obvious who's doing that. It's your sick, nasty behinds. You're disgusting. And they do it in the name of God too. Isn't that the crazy part?
Well, that's the worst. That's one of the worst parts about it, right? They want to use God as their guiding light, as they have some sort of moral about that, as they have some sort of moral value. God didn't care about your moral value when you're acting the way that you're doing.
Amen.
Y'all never read Matthew. If you know, most of y'all don't even know what Matthew is. Matthew 4:1-11 tells you how Jesus was tested by Satan. Okay? And I want you to remember that you're actually following Satan in that story.
Yeah. Tell him. Well, all right, Val, we got to move it along, brother.
Thank
all right.
you, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, W. Val. No lies detected. All right. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All righty then. Let's see. Okay, we got to do one more. Then Big Zeus has to get up out of here. Oh, my gosh. Look at the time. You know, hopefully this doesn't go down the direction it doesn't need to go, because, you know, we've been through a lot. Good morning, Nutty. What's going on, bro?
Listen, I'm starting to think that we're no longer brothers, because this is you bring me up last for the last 3 days. In the last 2 days, I've been getting thrown into the pit with tiny tank top Tim.
No.
It's
nothing like that. It's nothing like that. It's always lovely to check in with you, sir. I mean, we can let bygones be bygones. Let's just stick to policy. You know how this goes. I mean,
we're gonna let bygones be bygones for today, because I got something to say.
Fair enough.
So Val and Shay have already mentioned classes in session, Constitution 101.
Correct.
Every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I want to speak on something very quickly. I'm going to speak fast because I know you got to get out of here. The 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendments in the Constitution, they are known as the Reconstruction Amendments. Why are they known as the Reconstruction Amendment? Because those amendments came immediately after what? The Civil War.
Thank you.
The 14th Amendment, Zeus, it is so key and critical to our everyday life, our everyday existence. There are two clauses, there are two key principles of the 14th Amendment. That is due process, which is also found in the 5th Amendment.
Yeah.
And it's the Equal Protection Clause. Now, Zeus, a lot of people don't understand or realize why the 14th Amendment is so important. And in fact, I have to speak to my other co-host, because I still want to talk about the 14th Amendment on Sunday, even though we're going to go 15th through 20th. All right?
Yeah.
But there are some key cases, Zeus, that directly ties into the 14th Amendment. And there's some cases that we all are familiar with. Brown versus the Board of Education, 1954.
Okay.
Loving versus Virginia, 1967. Griswold versus Connecticut, 1965. Here's one that's going to blow your mind, because we keep talking about this the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Obergefell versus v. Hodges, 2015. Why is Obergefell versus Hodges important? Because it gave gay people the right to marry.
Oh.
That's under attack right now. So here's the thing. As a Christian that is proud to say that I am a Christian, but I'm like Steve Harvey. Don't trip. He ain't through with me yet.
Amen. Amen.
Because I still sin every day, and I have to ask for forgiveness.
All of us do.
But as a Christian, I don't care what your belief is. If you're not part of a community, you are still mandated to love that community. You are still mandated to treat that community with respect. Treat them with humanity. Treat them with what, Juice? The love of Christ.
Amen.
That's as a Christian.
Amen.
And as a Christian, I'm saying this. You may not, or I may not, whomever may not believe in gay marriage. What is it to you? Because I don't have to answer to God for them. I have to answer to God for myself. For myself. So therefore, I am mandated to love. I am mandated to love. Can I say that one more again?
Go ahead, say it again.
I am mandated to love.
Hallelujah.
I don't have a heaven nor a hell to put anybody in. In fact, Zeus, in fact, I need to be concerned about trying to get to heaven for myself.
Save yourself, yes.
I can't even get to heaven for my daughter. So anyway, so Obergefell v. Hodges. But there are some other key decisions from the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896. The Dred Scott decision, 1857.
Wow.
Bush v. Gore, 2000. And they're like, well, Nutty, how is that tied into the 14th Amendment? So Bush v. Gore was the Equal Protection Clause.
Yeah.
All of this is equal protection. Equal protection under the law, y'all.
Yeah.
I need for you all to understand that if you don't stand up for something, you will fall for everything. And just because they're not at your door today doesn't mean they're not going to be at your door tomorrow. Now, we heard Union Gang get up in here.
Yes.
We heard him talking about martial law in D.C. Make no mistake about it. That is textbook martial law. It is textbook martial law. And the fact that people like Janae, people like Conservative Lens, people like fake lawyer MOD, people like the Wiggate, what's her name? Lady Red?
Oh, I remember her. Yeah.
Bad Hair Day. Yeah.
I remember Red Lady Red.
Instead of calling out the truth and shaming the devil, they want to continue capitulating to this evil, narcissistic Putin simp.
What a disgrace.
They don't know what the Constitution states. And instead of just coming to a classroom from the comforts of their own home, free of charge, not being charged $300 per credit hour.
Wow.
Because it's free.
Yeah.
Instead of just coming and sitting and listening and learning. We say this all the time. Don't believe me, fact check me. But here's the deal, Zeus.
What's
here's
that?
the deal. When we're speaking on the Constitution, we have the document in our hand.
Amen.
We have the document in our hand.
Yeah.
Just like I do right here. We teach from the document.
Amen.
We teach from this document. So whatever we say, you can go to this document and you can fact check what we say. If you don't have this document available to you, get online.
Yeah. Get online and get it.
Get online. If you don't have this document, ask for it. I tell everyone in our classroom, if you don't have one, DM me. I'll send it to you for free.
Amen. Hit them with it, Nutty.
I'm tired of having to defend this Constitution. Because if you get on TikTok and in these TikTok streets and claim that Donald Trump is protecting and defending this document here, you a damn lie.
Facts. 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 W, Nutty. Well, listen, brother, you laid it down like a carpenter. You laid it down like a carpenter. What a great way to wrap things up this weekend, all right? Seriously. Thank you for telling us that. Yeah.
Check that out. You didn't throw me in the lake of fire today.
I didn't need to. You did it. You did exactly what you were kind of, this is what I'm saying. It's nothing but love here, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
he knows it.
Say this. Come to class. Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
Look for Val blinking. Look for my name blinking. Look for Shay's name blinking. Come to class. Learn. Put something in that noggin of yours.
Right up there.
Because
Amen.
Ignorance is not a bad thing.
Amen.
Willful ignorance is the root and the downfall of you, MAGA. It's your willful ignorance and not willing to learn. Nutty out.
All right, Nutty out, W Nutty, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, listen, that concludes the special broadcast. We had another amazing episode. All right, once again, we've totally annihilated MAGA. And this is what I think is going to get this country right back on track. They know that the lies have basically came to a screeching halt. No one believes them. They have zero credibility. They have nothing to basically get up here and actually argue and brag about anymore, other than to honestly admit that they've truly messed things up with this country. They know they regret their votes. They probably are so ashamed of themselves at this moment right now. A lot of them probably are fighting, going through divorces and things like that. Your family situation is getting real bad. You're probably on the verge of being evicted. You're behind on your bills. All right. And like I said earlier, that gentleman, he went to Russia and then all of a sudden he's no longer woke. Yeah, they're starting to realize it. It's all been one big ruse. And Donald Trump basically pulled the wool over their eyes. And so now they're sitting back and they're going, oh my gosh, the Democrats, they're actually ramping up. And you saw what Governor Gavin Newsom did, Governor Gavin Newsom. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. I would like to give a special thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Because without you, this show wouldn't be what it is. We're wearing them out, and this is where I'm starting to feel like mission is starting to be accomplished. This is where I'm starting to feel like they now understand. We've taken the air out of their campaign, and the conservative women, they know the jig is up. All right, you can't have it both ways. You can't tell us you're protecting women and Laken Riley and all that other stuff, but then at the same time you're pro Pam Bondi, who is obviously not releasing the Epstein files, and we're not going to let that go. I could talk about the Epstein files all day. You could sue Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden said, you know what, sue me. I would love to get the Donald Trump and his wife in a deposition situation, just like Rupert Murdoch with Wall Street Journal. Go ahead, get into the court, and let's get the information out there. But stop pretending like, it's the judges. No, it's not the judges. It's Donald Trump. We know that you and Epstein were best friends. He said it, and he actually said it. He said Epstein's a terrific guy. And so you've seen him dancing with Epstein in the videos and taking photos with him. You've heard so many stories, some from the victims. MAGA, the jig is up, all right? And martial law, you're trying it out there in D.C., California. We're going to get to the bottom of that because Governor Newsom said he's going to go ahead and help get this gerrymandering business situated. And come November, it's pretty much a done deal. All right, so again, W to all of you. Seriously. But I also got to give one last round of booze and shame, and this goes out to all the Zeus haters out there. And these are not just my haters; these are also your haters. They're right now suffering in silence, all right, and they know it. But eventually, in short order, they'll be going one more place, and you know exactly what that is. Hell. We're out of here. Take care. Have a great rest of your morning. We are out of here. Wow, look at the time. Wow. Have a great weekend. I'm sorry to keep you all overtime. But get out there and keep kicking butt. W7. Sorry I didn't get to bring all of you up, but we'll get there. Let's go, Sharon. Heaven, my brother. Let's go. What a great show. Have a good weekend, you too. Reggie, my brother. Thank you for the subscription. All of you. Thank all of you for subscribing. I forgot to say that. 1600 Pennsylvania Ave coming. 350,000 likes. Wow. And you know what? We only got reported once. It is what it is. They always do that. WN. Let's go. We keep it clean over here. What a great show. Gotta be able to connect with us. Look at that Trump supporter right there. The whole show, they quiet as turkey mouth. But they pipe up when the show's over. Fair enough, I get it. They quiet as a church mouth. All right, switch it right on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Take care, stay safe. I'm out of here. I'm so late.